Chapter 629. After Yi Shi left, Ning Shu entered Yi Shi's room and installed the miniature camera in a hidden position facing the bed. She was planning to divorce Jing Shaoze, but it was not just a divorce. After installing the miniature camera, Ning Shu left Yi Shi's room, slowly opened the box, and inserted needles into his body. Ning Shu could only relieve the discomfort in his heart by inserting needles into his acupoints. When Yi Shi came back and saw Ning Shu's face full of needles, she was a little surprised. Then, she put the bag in front of Ning Shu and said, "This is what you wanted." Ning Shu nodded, then pulled out the silver needles from his face and asked Yi Shi, "What are your plans after the child is born?" Yi Shi's face flashed with gloominess. She shook her head and said, "I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. Although you are a surrogate mother, your body is still pure and can live a good life with the person you love." Ning Shu looked at Yi Shi and said, "Pure and clean." Yi Shi's mind flashed with the image of her and Jing Shaoze. She was no longer pure and clean. Yi Shi's heart was sad, but this man was someone else's husband, and that man loved his wife very much. "Let's talk about the future later." Yi Shi didn't want to talk to Ning Shu, so she found an excuse to take a shower and left. Ning Shu looked at Yi Shi's back and raised his eyebrows. Did Yi Shi fall in love with Jing Shaoze? "Ha, you two are true love. Are you two destined to be entangled because you have slept together?" In the evening, Jing Shaoze came back from work. Ning Shu pulled Jing Shaoze into the bedroom. Jing Shaoze was a little surprised and asked, "What's wrong? What happened?" Jing Shaoze looked at Ning Shu hurriedly pulling him into the bedroom with a doting look on his face. Ning Shu said, "Take off your clothes." Jing Shaoze raised his eyebrows. "Jing, what's wrong? Do you want it? Why are you asking me to take off my clothes the moment we get back?" Ning Shu almost wanted to vomit on Jing Shaoze's face. He took out a shining silver needle and said, "I've been learning acupuncture recently, but I can't find the acupoints, so, you want me to test acupuncture for you?" Jing Shaoze looked helpless. "When did you learn acupuncture?" "Dad found me a Chinese medicine doctor. He said he can use acupuncture to strengthen the heart and lungs." Ning Shu held the silver needles and urged Jing Shaoze to take off his clothes. Jing Shaoze slowly unbuttoned his shirt and said helplessly, "Just call the doctor home. Do you still have to learn it yourself?" Jing Shaoze took off his clothes, revealing his muscular body as he lay on the bed obediently. Jing, can you do it or not?" Jing Shaoze asked Ning Shu. Ning Shu held a silver needle in his hand and saw some scratches on Jing Shaoze's back. It was obviously scratched by Yi Shi last night. Ning Shu said expressionlessly, "I'm going to prick it. It may hurt a little. Why can't you stop?" Jing Shaoze said helplessly and dotingly. Ning Shu curled her lips. While holding the needle, he looked at the human acupoint chart and pricked Jing Shaoze's back. Jing Shaoze let out a muffled groan. "How do you feel?" Ning Shu asked Jing Shaoze. "It's sore." Jing Shaoze said helplessly. Ning Shu's tone was happy. "It seems that you pricked the right place. Don't move. Again." Jing Shaoze looked even more helpless. He stayed motionless and let Ning Shu prick the needle. Ning Shu pricked an acupoint. Jing Shaoze cried out in pain and asked, "Why is it so painful this time?" Ning Shu looked at the human acupoint chart and hurriedly pulled out the silver needle. He quickly said, "I'm sorry. I pricked the wrong one." Jing Shaoze grimaced in pain and sat up. Ning Shu said, "Are you done fooling around?" Ning Shu asked in surprise, "You know that I'm fooling around. Why are you still letting me prick you? Will you give up if I don't let you prick me?" Jing Shaoze gently flicked Ning Shu's forehead. Jing, you're stubborn." Ning Shu sneered in his heart. What a good man. This man was really gentle. Or was he the real him in front of Yi Shi? Perhaps Jing Shaoze was a man in front of Yi Shi, a man full of aggressiveness towards women. Ning Shu pulled out the silver needle from Jing Shaoze's body. He saw purple blood beads coming out of an acupoint. He wiped them off and said to Jing Shaoze, "Put on your clothes. I think I'd better find a dummy to practice on first." Jing Shaoze slowly put on his clothes. His movements were slow and elegant, with a kind of noble aura. Jing Shaoze touched Ning Shu's head and looked very gentle. Jing, Don't worry. Take your time. I like you no matter what you do. Ning Shu just raised the corner of his mouth. After dinner, Jing Shaozi accompanied Ning Shu to stroll around the villa garden. Then he received a call and said to Ning Shu, I have something to deal with in the company. I may not come back tonight. Ning Shu nodded. Take care of yourself. Jing Shaozi kissed Ning Shu's forehead and turned to leave. Ning Shu returned to the bedroom and turned on his laptop. The computer played the situation in Yi Shi's room. Yi Shi was doing yoga in her room. Ning Shu began to practice unique martial arts. Ning Shu, who was practicing, was interrupted by the sound from the laptop. Jing Shaozi, who went to the night shift, came back and went to Yi Shi's room. At this moment, he was pressing on Yi Shi's body. Yi Shi's voice was a little breathless as she said, Jing Shaozi, let's not do this. Can we do artificial insemination? Jing Shaozi's voice was very cold. It will naturally stop until you are pregnant. Since you have chosen to be a surrogate mother, aren't you willing to endure anything for money? Please don't do this. Yi Shi's voice was blocked by Jing Shaozi. Ning Shu watched the two people in the room rolling around. Jing Shaozi was very wild and Yi Shi was being tossed around by him. Enai Jing had never seen Jing Shaozi like this. Jing Shaozi and Enai Jing were very gentle in bed. Enai Jing thought that Jing Shaozi was such a person. However, men were full of aggression. Ning Shu saved the video. The two of them tossed and turned many times that night. Ning Shu yawned and copied the video to the USB flash drive. He also made several copies. Even if one was destroyed, there would be another one. When it was over, Jing Shaozi put on his clothes while Yi Shi was so tired that she fell asleep. Jing Shaozi looked at Yi Shi's flirtatious expression after being pampered and couldn't help but reach out to touch her face. He then realized that she was just a surrogate mother. He had his own wife, Enai Jing. Jing Shaozi's eyebrows were filled with confusion and struggle. He then fiercely woke Yi Shi up. Yi Shi looked at him innocently and blankly. What's wrong? Jing Shaozi looked at her and became angrier. He didn't know whether he was angry at Yi Shi or himself. Chapter 630. Ning Shu saved the video, unplugged the USB flash drive, locked it in the drawer, turned off the computer, yawned, and lay down to sleep. Hearing footsteps, Ning Shu counted to 3 in his heart and heard the sound of the door opening. Then, the sound of running water came from the bathroom. Ning Shu was speechless. Jing Shaozi's nightlife was really busy. He moved from one woman's bed to another woman's bed. Moreover, Jing Shaozi seemed to enjoy this kind of life. When he hugged his wife, he even flirted with the surrogate mother who was standing not far away. The change of roles was too smooth and seamless. After taking a shower, Jing Shaozi fell asleep next to Ning Shu. Ning Shu turned around and saw Jing Shaozi's back facing him. His breathing was long and deep. Obviously, he fell asleep as soon as his head hit the pillow. In fact, Jing Shaozi and Enai Jing were now sleeping in the same bed but dreaming different dreams. Jing Shaozi said that he loved Enai Jing, but in his heart, he was fascinated by Enai Jing. It rose from pure carnal desire to affection. However, Jing Shaozi was deceiving himself and swaying left and right. After waking up, Jing Shaozi was still gentle and considerate to Ning Shu. The two of them looked like a loving husband and wife. Although Jing Shaozi was gentle, Ning Shu felt that Jing Shaozi's attitude was beginning to be perfunctory. He said perfunctory words in a gentle tone. Ning Shu and Jing Shaozi went downstairs. Jing Shaozi's mother was asking Yi Shi, "What's wrong? You look so pale. Are you feeling unwell?" Jing Shaozi immediately looked at Yi Shi. Seeing Yi Shi's haggard face and listless appearance, he asked Yi Shi anxiously, "What's wrong with you?" Then, Jing Shaozi realized that he was a little anxious. His face became serious and he pulled out the chair heavily. The chair made a harsh sound as it rubbed against the floor. She sat down and said coldly, "Since you are a surrogate mother, you should take care of your body at all times. Before you give birth to the child, your body is not your own. You are not allowed to appear in front of me with this sickly look." Yi Shi looked at Jing Shaozi with a sad expression. Then she lowered her head and whispered, "I know." Her entire body was sore and uncomfortable, but it was impossible for her to not get up when it was time. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shao's awkward expression. He was clearly concerned about Yi Shi, but the words that came out of his mouth were very unpleasant. Yi Shi was obviously tortured last night and did not sleep at all. He was forced to exercise the whole night and had to wake up early in the morning. Jing Shaoza was angry when he saw Yi Shi like this. When he was eating breakfast, the sound of the knife and fork colliding with the plate was very loud. While cutting breakfast, Jing Shaoza looked at Yi Shi. When he saw that Yi Shi was eating breakfast with her head lowered, he became even angrier. He slammed the knife and fork on the table and couldn't help but say coldly to his mother, "Mom, look at the surrogate mother you found. Can the child born with such a half-dead appearance be healthy?" Jing Shao's mother smiled when she saw her son's angry look. "She just didn't have a good rest last night. Yi Shi is very healthy. Why are you so anxious?" Ning Shu also looked at Jing Shaoza. "Why are you so anxious? You are the most gentlemanly person. How can you say such outrageous things to Miss Yi?" Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaoza with a faint smile. In front of the person he loved, he couldn't control his emotions. A gentlemanly man would also become childish and naughty. Just like a little boy, he would tease a girl to attract her attention. Jing Shaoza was like this now. Ning Shu had a gentle smile on his face. "Oh, you are in love with each other, but you are suppressing your feelings because of others. This is all my fault. I will definitely take good care of my body," Yi Shi said quickly when she saw that the people at the table were quarreling. "Okay, shut up and eat," Jing Shao's father said. He glanced at his son and said, "Why are you making such a fuss? Why are you being so clumsy?" Jing Shao's father had absolute prestige in the Jing family. When he spoke, no one dared to speak. Jing Shao's father was elegant and handsome. Jing Shao's outstanding appearance was inherited from his father. Jing Shao's father had tacitly agreed to the surrogacy. Otherwise, Jing Shao's mother wouldn't dare to do such a thing. It seemed that Ni Jing was the only outsider in this family who didn't know anything. Ning Shu pursed his lips and lowered his head to eat his breakfast. He already had a plan in his heart. Ning Shu hated Jing Shao's mother very much. Why did a woman have to make things difficult for another woman? Why did she find a mistress for her son and break up the relationship between Jing Shaoza and Ni Jing? Ning Shu suspected that Jing Shao's mother had a deep hatred for Ni Jing. Was it because Ni Jing couldn't give birth to a child? The most hateful person in this matter was Jing Shaoza. He said that he loved Ni Jing, but his body and mind had cheated on her. If he really loved Ni Jing, he wouldn't have slept with Yi Shi and had a child with another woman behind his wife's back. He even had the nerve to say that he loved Ni Jing. Anyway, no one would have a good life. After breakfast, Jing Shaoza kept looking for a chance to talk to Yi Shi, but Yi Shi went directly to her room to rest. With so many people watching, Jing Shaoza couldn't go to Yi Shi's room directly. Jing Shaoza went to work with a sullen face as if someone owed him money. Ning Shu asked Jing Shao's mother, "When can Miss Yi have the surgery? I think it's better to hurry. The longer Miss Yi stays in our house, the worse her reputation will be." Jing Shao's mother frowned. "Let's wait for a while." Ning Shu didn't ask any more. He guessed that Jing Shao's mother was waiting for Yi Shi to get pregnant naturally and give birth to the heir of the Jing family. "I'll ask Yi Shi if she's feeling unwell. Should she go to the hospital?" Jing Shao's mother went to Yi Shi's room. Ning Shu hurried upstairs and turned on the computer. The screen showed Jing Shao's mother and Yi Shi. Yi Shi was sitting on the bed. Jing Shao's mother stood by the bed and said to Yi Shi, "How are you feeling? Do you want to go to the hospital?" Yi Shi's face was a little red. She shook her head and said, "I'm fine. I'm just too tired." Jing Shao's mother showed a look of understanding. "You have to get pregnant quickly." Yi Shi's face instantly turned red. Even her neck was pink. She whispered, "Mrs. Jing, I'll try my best, but can you get pregnant artificially? It's not good." Jing Shao's mother said faintly, "What's not good about it? Your duty is to give birth to the heir of the Jing family, and it has to be a healthy heir." "But Ni Jing?" Yi Shi looked guilty. "She won't be able to bear it if she finds out." Yi Shi looked at Jing Shao's mother. "Is this really okay? If it weren't for the problem with her father's company, she would definitely not be a surrogate mother. She was not married and she would give birth to someone else's child who was not related to her by blood. Chapter 631. She originally thought that being a surrogate mother was already an unbearable pain in her life, but she never expected that there would be something even more shameful waiting for her. Mrs. Jing wanted her and Jing Shaozi to conceive naturally and give birth to the heir of the Jing family. And Jing is Jing Shaozi's wife. The child I gave birth to with Jing Shaozi is not legitimate. But Shi's expression was a little sad. The most important thing was that once she gave birth to this child, the child would have nothing to do with her. Jing Shaozi's mother pursed her lips. The Jing family married a sickly woman and gave birth to a sickly child. The Jing family will be laughed at by the entire upper-class society. You only need to know your duty and give birth to the child. Your father's company will be fine, and your child will be the heir of the Jing family in the future. But this is my child. She bit her lips tightly and her face was pale. Jing Shaozi's mother looked displeased. Since you've taken the money, you should do what you're supposed to do. And Jing's family is quite wealthy. Your child will have a bright future with such a wealthy family and a family like the Jing family. What you need to do is to not see this child. Shi's eyes turned red and tears flowed out. Jing Shaozi's mother looked at Shi and said faintly, "It's fine if you want to go back on your word, but I won't fund your family for nothing." Shi did not speak. She had already lost her virginity. Without the funds from the Jing family, her father's company would go bankrupt. Since you have made up your mind to be a surrogate, then what you need to do is to take good care of your body. In addition to the cash flow from your father's company, I will also give you an additional 5 million yuan for nutrition. Jing Shaozi's mother was very generous. Shi was a little resistant to Jing Shaozi's mother's charity, but what she was doing now would make others look down on her. If she refused, it would seem pretentious. Jing Shaozi's mother sat by the bed, stretched out her hand, and patted the back of Shi's hand. She said, "I actually like you very much. You are filial and Shaozi also likes you very much. Although Shaozi is gentle and elegant, he is a very careful person. No one can force him." He was determined to marry the daughter of the Ni family who had heart disease. Jing Shaozi's tone was not very good when he talked about Ni Jing. Obviously, he did not like Ni Jing. Since he was able to make you pregnant naturally, it means that he doesn't hate you. If the child's biological parents love him, it's good for the child. Jing Shaozi's mother said gently, "I also want my grandson to be born because of love and not because of hatred. Trust me, I know my son very well. He loves you. Instead of looking so miserable every day, why don't you take good care of yourself? He's your child too. You have to be responsible for him." Jing Shaozi's mother tried to persuade Jing Shaozi. Shi doubted Jing Shaozi's mother's claim that Jing Shaozi liked her. Jing Shaozi appeared to hate her very much, always speaking ill of her and mocking her. How could he like her? He liked his wife and was always gentle and considerate to her. His brows were filled with tenderness. Holding his wife in the palm of his hand and doting on her was true love. Moreover, Jing Shaozi constantly reminded her not to ruin their relationship as husband and wife. She couldn't figure it out. He was such an elegant and noble man, but why was he so mean and evil when facing her? Every time she heard Jing Shaozi's words, she felt as if a knife was stabbing her heart. She was a lowly and spurned surrogate mother. As long as she could save her father's company, she could endure anything. She endured Jing Shaozi's insults with her tenacity. However, Shi did not know that the more stubborn she was, the more Jing Shaozi wanted to humiliate her. Subconsciously, he also wanted to conquer her. He wanted to see this stubborn woman give in. Ning Shu, who was in front of the computer, listened to the conversation between Jing Shaozi's mother and Shi and sneered. The child had not even been born yet, but they were so confident. Whether the child could be born or not was still a problem. Ning Shu saved the video of the conversation between the two. From the beginning to the end, Shi's performance was so innocent and forced. Every female lead who was a mistress had no choice but to do so. Everything was because they had no choice but to do so. Jing Shao's mother originally regarded Ni Jing as a disgrace and let her son sleep with another woman. Perhaps it was to take revenge on Ni Jing. She did not expect that Ni Jing would not be able to accept it when she found out about it. She clutched her heart and collapsed on the ground. If she was more vicious, she might even want Ni Jing to die. Jing Shaozi had already forgotten his promise and responsibility to Ni Jing. When he was in bed with Yi Shi, he even hypnotized himself that he was just using a product and that it had nothing to do with love. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows. This family? A woman could not have children and even had the most basic value. In the eyes of the Jing family, the original owner could not give birth and could die at any time. Ning Shu turned off the computer and the phone on the bedside rang. Ning Shu picked up the phone and pressed the recording button. Jing Shao's gentle voice came from the phone. Jing, the company has an international cooperation project. I may not be home for the next few days. Ning Shu, if I believe you, I'll be the one whose brain is fried by Malatang. Ning Shu grinned and asked expressionlessly, how long will this project take? Half a month if it's fast, maybe more than a month if it's slow. I'll find time to come back to see you. Jing Shaozi comforted Ning Shu. Be careful at home. Take medicine if you're not feeling well. I know. Ning Shu said faintly. Then I'll go back to work. Jing loves you. Jing Shaozi hung up the phone. Ning Shu looked at the recording file on the phone and sneered. Could he really not come back for 10 days or half a month? When Jing Shaozi was not at home, Ning Shu rarely went downstairs. He only came downstairs when it was time to eat. Ning Shu's mother also rarely talked to him. They were both polite to each other. Ning Shu knew that Jing Shao's mother hated him. Ning Shu went downstairs to get some water. Seeing that the whole villa was empty, he asked Auntie Li, a servant at home, where did mother-in-law go? Auntie Li said, Madam took Miss Yi out to buy things. She said that she won't come back tonight and will attend a banquet. These two people were so close. It seemed that they were the ones who had a good relationship. Ning Shu asked Auntie Li to pour a glass of water for him and went upstairs. Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the bed, practicing martial arts. The laptop in front of him was open. Yi Shi's room was empty. He didn't know how long he had been practicing, but there was a knock on the door. Ning Shu stopped practicing and opened his eyes. It was already dark. Auntie Li asked Ning Shu to go downstairs for dinner. Ning Shu was alone at home. Ning Shu sat alone at the dinner table. He ate leisurely and went upstairs. Chapter 632. Ning Shu kept practicing the peerless martial arts. Since Jing Shaozi did not come back, she had time to practice. Although the effect was minimal, Ning Shu felt that her heart was not as stuffy as before. Even if it was just a psychological effect, it was fine. After cultivating for a while, there was a sound from the computer. Ning Shu opened her eyes and saw Jing Shaozi, who was supposed to be busy with the international cooperation project in the company, in Yi Shi's room. Jing Shaozi turned on the light but did not see Yi Shi. His face was a little ugly. He sat on the sofa in the room and waited for Yi Shi to come back. At this time, Jing Shaozi realized that he did not have Yi Shi's phone number and could not contact her at all. This made Jing Shaozi very dissatisfied. He felt that this woman was out of his control. Jing Shaozi wanted to go upstairs and ask Ning Shu where Yi Shi went, but he said during the day that he would not be home for a few days. It was not good to appear in front of him like this. Jing Shaozi thought about it and went to the bathroom to take a shower. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi's unobstructed appearance in Yi Shi's room and curled his lips. Jing Shaozi was really proactive. Did he want Yi Shi to get pregnant earlier, or was he obsessed with Yi Shi's body? After a while, Jing Shaozi came out with a bath towel wrapped around his body. The bath towel only covered the important parts, revealing his strong and sexy body. Jing Shaozi lay on the bed and waited for Yi Shi to come back. At about 10 o'clock in the evening, Yi Shi, who was taken to the banquet by Jing Shaozi's mother, came back. When she returned to the room, she saw Jing Shaozi lying on the bed. Jing Shaozi was not wearing any clothes. The bath towel was crooked, revealing his Apollo's belt. Yi Shi almost screamed. When Jing Shaozi saw Yi Shi, his eyes were filled with amazement. Yi Shi was wearing a gown that made her figure slim. She wore a thin necklace around her slender neck, which made her neck look even more beautiful and her collarbone sexy. Then, Jing Shao's face darkened and he said coldly, "Who are you trying to seduce by dressing like this?" She pursed her lips and said stubbornly, "It's my business what I wear. I'm a little tired. Please go out." "Get out. Have you forgotten your responsibility? Do you think I want to touch you? As long as you're pregnant, my mission is complete," Jing Shaozi said sarcastically. Yishi's face turned pale. She clutched her skirt tightly and finally let go of it weakly. She really wanted to tell Jing Shaozi to stop hurting her. "I'm very tired today. Can we call it a day?" Yishi said to Jing Shaozi. Jing Shaozi was furious. He got up from the bed, grabbed Yishi's arm, threw her onto the bed, and leaned over her. "Do you not want to see me that much? Did you seduce a new target? Can you get rid of me now?" Yishi was bewildered by Jing Shao's scent. The smell of his shower mixed with the man's scent made Yishi's face hot and her hands and feet stiff. Seeing her like this, Jing Shao's heart softened. He leaned over and kissed Yishi's lips. Ning Shu smacked his lips as he looked at the scene on the computer screen. "You guys really know how to play. On the floor, on the sofa, on the wall, on the balcony, there are all kinds of words that make people blush. Any one of the videos is like a movie between the two of them." Jing Shaozi gave Ning Shu the feeling that he had not seen a woman for several lifetimes. No, it was more like he had not been so carefree in several lifetimes. Come on, there's a lot of time anyway." Ning Shu couldn't stand it anymore. When he woke up, the two of them were finally done. Jing Shaozi came out of the shower and put on his clothes while looking at Yishi, who was sleeping soundly on the bed. He walked to the bedside and couldn't help but reach out to touch Yishi's face. His eyes were unconsciously filled with tenderness. Then he turned off the lights, closed the door and left. Ning Shu copied today's video and sneered silently. "I'll just watch you guys silently and let me, your legal wife, witness your touching love." Now, Jing Shaozi and Yishi are in love with each other. During this time, Jing Shaozi came back at night. It was late at night when he came back. Jing Shaozi didn't turn on the lights and sneaked into Yishi's room. Then he started to do something and left before dawn. Sometimes, Jing Shaozi would hug Yishi and sleep for a while. Ning Shu found that these videos took up too much space and memory, so he had to compress them. He really wanted to share these seeds. His hands were itching. Occasionally, Jing Shaozi would come back to get a change of clothes. When he saw Ning Shu, his face was gentle and doting. His lips gently touched Ning Shu's forehead, then he took his bag and left. But he came back to be with Yishi at night. Jing Shaozi was very vigilant. When he drove back, he didn't drive the car to the villa's entrance. Instead, he parked it by the roadside. It was very suitable for an affair in the middle of the night when everyone was asleep. Ning Shu pretended that he didn't know anything. They could do whatever they wanted. Jing Shao's mother stared at Yishi's belly. It had been almost 2 months, but why was there still no movement in Yishi's belly? Jing Shao's mother could only take Yishi to the hospital for a checkup. The results showed that Yishi was normal. If everything was normal, why wasn't she pregnant? Could it be that it was not time yet? Jing Shao's mother asked the nutritionist to prepare some foods for Yishi that were easy to conceive. She wanted Yishi to get pregnant as soon as possible. Ning Shu could naturally see Jing Shao's mother's anxiety. He said indifferently, "Mom, when can Miss Yi have the operation?" Jing Shao's mother said impatiently, "Soon." The doctor said that Yishi's body still needs some time to recuperate. Jing Shao's mother wanted Yishi to get pregnant naturally. She didn't believe in the medical technology of embryo transfer at all. What if the child was born with some defects? The Jing family already had a daughter-in-law with a heart disease. They couldn't have a defective child. Otherwise, she really couldn't raise her head in front of a group of rich ladies. The Jing family had plenty of money. It was too easy for them to have a naturally born child. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked, "How long do we have to wait?" Jing Shao's mother said, "The child will only be healthy if we do enough work. We don't lack this time." A guilty look appeared on Yishi's face. She said to Jing Shao's mother, "It's all because of me." Yishi was apologizing for not being able to get pregnant. Yi Shi suddenly felt the pressure. She glanced at Ning Shu secretly. She couldn't imagine how much pressure Jing Shao's wife must be under since she didn't have a child for 5 years. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked with some doubts, "Why are you apologizing?" Yi Shi was speechless. She lowered her head and didn't dare to look at Ning Shu. Yi Shi felt very uneasy and guilty when facing Jing Shao's wife, Ni Jing. However, when she was with Jing Shaoze, she forgot about Ni Jing's existence in her mind. She felt that she had stolen the sweetness that belonged to Ni Jing and Jing Shaoze. Chapter 633. Ning Shu looked at Yi Shi's expression. She was struggling and uneasy. She knew that what she was doing was wrong. Although she realized that what she was doing was wrong, she was addicted to it and could not extricate herself. After Ni Jing died, Yi Shi was finally able to put down the burden in her heart and be with Jing Shaoze. Besides, it was to give her child a happy family. "Okay, let's wait for another 2 months." Jing Shao's mother said, "Let Yi Shi recuperate for another 2 months." Ning Shu did not speak. Jing Shao's mother was trying to make Yi Shi pregnant naturally. Ning Shu felt that his mother-in-law was a little impatient and was even a little angry with Yi Shi. Yi Shi felt even more uneasy. She was afraid that Jing Shao's mother would withdraw her investment in anger. Ning Shu smiled. "If you want to get pregnant, it depends on whether you can get pregnant or not." Yi Shi wanted to get pregnant urgently. When Jing Shaoze came to her room at night, she was very active, making Jing Shaoze feel unprecedentedly carefree. Even his soul was trembling. Every time after they finished, Yi Shi would raise her waist. Jing Shaoze hugged Yi Shi and asked, "What are you doing?" "I want to get pregnant." Yi Shi's voice was trembling. Jing Shaoze raised the corner of his mouth. "You want to have my child so badly?" Jing Shaoze said wickedly, "But I don't want to let you go yet. What should I do if you get pregnant?" Yi Shi's face was red and her eyebrows were sweet and flirtatious. She secretly thought, "God, please forgive my greed. I only yearn for this period of time at night." At night, she did not want the man who was hugging her to be someone else's husband. However, when the man left the room at dawn, they would have nothing to do with each other anymore. She was a surrogate mother, and he had a wife who he loved deeply. Yi Shi hugged Jing Shao's body and pressed her face against his chest. "But your mother is very anxious. She wants me to give birth to an heir. There's no hurry to give birth to a child." Jing Shaoze hugged Yi Shi and lingered with her. Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the bed, yawned, and saved the video. She was really good at tormenting. Ning Shu rubbed his eyes, put the computer to the side, and lay on the bed to sleep. "You guys have good stamina. I'm not going to accompany you." Ning Shu previously had an ambition, which was to record every scene of Jing Shaoze and Yi Shi and organize them according to the date and time. When the time came, these would all be evidence. However, these two people were really good at tormenting each other. She felt that Jing Shaoze wanted to vent all his energy on Yi Shi. It was probably because he felt uncomfortable being with Ni Jing. When he was with Ni Jing, it was always warm and sluggish. How could he be so carefree and unrestrained like this? Ning Shu planned to make a trip to the hospital. When they decided to find a surrogate, Ni Jing and Jing Shaoze went to the hospital to freeze their eggs and sperm respectively. Ning Shu went to the hospital and told the doctor that he wanted to see Jing Shao's sperm and gave the doctor a sum of money. The doctor took the test tubes from the refrigerator and gave them to Ning Shu. He said, "Look, they're all well refrigerated. You'll definitely be able to get pregnant." "Let me see." Ning Shu took the test tube. Under the temperature of -190 degrees, it had been frozen into ice and was emitting white smoke. Ning Shu opened the lid. When the doctor wasn't paying attention, he took out a bottle from his pocket and put a little heavy metal mercury into the test tube. He then closed the lid and said, "Where do you put it?" "I'll put it there." "This is your husband's name." "Here it is," the doctor said. Ning Shu put the test tube back and smiled slightly. "If you want to have a child, you'd better try to do it as soon as possible. The longer it takes, the lower the sperm's activity." Ning Shu nodded. After solving this matter, Ning Shu's heart was a lot lighter. He went back to his mother's home, the Ni family. The Ni couple loved Ni Jing very much. Ni Jing had been married for several years, but they still didn't give up looking for a matching heart for her. They finally found a heart, but they failed in the end. Ning Shu's return made the Ni couple very happy. They asked Ni Jing to stay for lunch and even called Ni Jing's older brother who was at work to come back for lunch. Because Ning Shu had cultivated a peerless martial art, her complexion was a little better. Her appetite was much better than before, and she ate a lot more. This made Ni Jia and her husband very happy, and they kept picking food for Ning Shu. Did that Jing boy bully you? Father and I asked Ning Shu, if he dares to bully you, I'll go find him. Ning Shu smiled and said, no. He really didn't. I heard that your mother-in-law found a surrogate. Mother and I didn't believe it and looked at Ning Shu. Tell me the truth. Mother and I was a rich lady who attended all kinds of banquets. She had heard of every little movement in the upper class. She looked at Ning Shu with heartache. Jing, tell me the truth. She's planning to be a surrogate. I've been married to Jing Shaozi for almost 5 years and I feel guilty about not having a child. Ning Shu said while eating, Jing Shaozi is the only son of the Jing family. He can't be without an heir. Jing Shaozi? Ni Jing's brother, Ni Yen, looked at Ning Shu. Is there something wrong with your relationship with Jing Shaozi? You used to call him Brother Shaozi, but now you call him Jing Shaozi. Ning Shu. There's nothing wrong with our relationship. How could he tell something was wrong with a simple address? Ni Yen glanced at Ning Shu. Come back if you have any problems. The Ni family is not afraid of the Jing family. You don't have to swallow your anger. Thank you, brother. Ning Shu turned and changed the topic. When can you find a sister-in-law? Girl, don't put the blame on me. Ni Yen looked at Ning Shu angrily. After lunch, Ning Shu planned to go home. Father and I gave a bank card to Ning Shu and said, take this money and use your own money. Don't be humble in front of the Jing family. The Ni family was worried that Ning Shu would be wronged because of the surrogate mother. Thank you, father. Ning Shu accepted the bank card. He didn't need to be polite with his family. If he didn't accept it, his parents would be worried. Call us if you have any problems. If we can't handle it, call your brother, mother and I told Ning Shu. Ning Shu kept nodding her head. The Ni couple finally agreed to let her go after talking for a while. Ning Shu returned to the Jing family villa. When he walked into the living room, he saw Jing Shaozi sitting on the chair and holding Yishi's wrist. Yishi was holding a spoon in her hand. Jing Shaozi was eating the food in the spoon, but his eyes were fixed on Yishi. It seemed that Jing Shaozi was holding Yishi's hand and asking her to feed him. This ambiguous posture made Yishi blush. She was obviously embarrassed by Jing Shaozi's flirting. Ning Shu looked at the two of them silently and did not say anything. It's delicious. Give me another spoon. Jing Shaozi raised his eyebrows and looked charming. He grabbed Yishi's wrist and put it into the plate. Let go of me. Yishi blushed and said, it's not good to be seen. Chapter 634. Jing Shaozi grabbed Yishi's wrist and fed himself a mouthful of rice. Then, he took the spoon from Yishi's hand and scooped a spoonful for her. Yishi tilted her head and refused to eat. Jing Shaozi raised his eyebrows. If you don't want to eat, then I'll eat. What I want to eat is not rice, but you. Yishi's face turned red and she opened her mouth to take a sip of the food in the spoon. Ahem. Ning Shu coughed and interrupted the sweet feeding of the two. Jing Shaozi turned his head and saw Ning Shu. As if he was scalded, he instantly shook off Yishi's hand. Yishi's expression darkened and she lowered her head without speaking. Jing Shaozi's expression was very unnatural. He stood up and walked in front of Ning Shu, gently asking, where did you go? You must be feeling unwell on such a hot day. Have you eaten? I'll make noodles for you. Are you thirsty? Do you want me to pour you a glass of water? Jing Shaozi said a lot of things, but he just wanted to divert Ning Shu's attention. Ning Shu said faintly, I went home. I've eaten. Jing Shaozi held Ning Shu's hand. Why didn't you tell me that you were going to your parents' house? I'll go back with you. I was worried about you going out alone. Ning Shu rolled his eyes in his heart. Worried? Didn't you have fun feeding each other just now? I didn't see that you were worried at all. Ning Shu had a gentle smile on his face. I know my own body. It's okay. You haven't eaten yet? Ning Shu glanced at the 8 treasure porridge on the table. The porridge was thick and the color was very beautiful. I just ate. Jing Shaozi picked up the bowl. Jing, do you want to eat more? Didn't you say that you were busy with the cross-country cooperation? Why did you come back? Ning Shu glanced at Yi Shi, who was motionless with her head lowered. Jing Shaozi said gently, I'm done. Now I have a lot of time to spend with you. Jing Shaozi said as he held Ning Shu's hand. We haven't gone out for a long time. The weather is so hot, let's go to the resort. In order to divert Ning Shu's attention, Jing Shaozi made various promises. Usually, when a man had done something wrong, he would be particularly attentive, just like Jing Shaozi was now. Sure. With a smile on his face, Ning Shu glanced at Yi Shi and said, Miss Yi, let's go together. This resort villa is very good. Thank you, Ning Shu said. Ning Shu rubbed his forehead. I want to go up and rest. Jing Shaozi breathed a sigh of relief and said, That's good. You go up and rest. When Jing Shaozi saw that Ning Shu didn't make a fuss, he heaved a sigh of relief. If she really saw something, her heart wouldn't be able to take it, and she would definitely make a fuss. She wouldn't be as calm as she was now. Jing Shaozi didn't know what was wrong with him now. During the day, he was entangled with Yi Shi and was almost discovered by Ni Jing. He was simply bewitched in broad daylight. After Ning Shu went upstairs, Jing Shaozi looked at Yi Shi. Yi Shi raised her head and looked at Jing Shaozi. Jing Shaozi sneered. You're really capable. I don't know what you're talking about. Yi Shi asked in confusion and innocence. Tise? Jing Shaozi grabbed Yi Shi's arm. You seduced me in broad daylight and almost got discovered by Jing. Your ability to seduce men is not weak. Yi Shi looked stubborn and mocked. Did I let you grab my hand? You grabbed my hand. Let go. Woman, will you die if you don't talk back to me? Jing Shaozi said angrily with a cold expression. I'm warning you. Don't tell Jing about this. If anything happens to Jing, I won't let you go. Yi Shi looked gloomy and her lips trembled. I'm also warning you. If you continue to be so rude to me, I'll tell Ni Jing and your wife about this. You. Jing Shaozi's pupils constricted. Try it if you dare. Ning Shu stood at the top of the stairs and looked down. Even though the two of them were quarreling, their bodies were still very close. Jing Shaozi was almost hugging Yi Shi. Come on, let's hurt each other. How is this hurting each other? They are clearly flirting. Ning Shu turned back to the bedroom, locked the door, and fell asleep on the bed. After sleeping for a long time, Ning Shu was shaken awake. She felt that her body was about to fall apart. She heard Jing Shaozi's roar in her ears. Jing, wake up, wake up. He was roaring and shaking her body. Ning Shu felt that she was about to have a heart attack. When she opened her eyes, she saw Jing Shaozi's distorted face. Jing, how are you? Jing Shaozi looked at Ning Shu anxiously. Ning Shu's heart was irritable. What's wrong? Why did you lock the door? You scared me to death. Jing, don't scare me like this in the future. As Jing Shaozi spoke, he held Ning Shu's shoulder and shook her body. Promise me, don't scare me like this in the future. Ning Shu, stop shaking me. You actually want me to die. It's okay. I didn't notice and locked the door. Ning Shu pulled away Jing Shaozi's hand from her shoulder. She didn't wear much summer clothes, so Jing Shaozi's grip on her shoulder hurt. Ning Shu seriously suspected that Jing Shaozi wanted to kill his wife. Although he seemed to care about her, he didn't hold back and almost dislocated her arm. I'm sorry to have hurt you. I was just too anxious. Jing Shaozi looked at Ning Shu. You locked yourself in the room. I thought something happened. Jing, you can't do this in the future. Ning Shu nodded and didn't say anything. Jing Shaozi looked at Ning Shu and asked pointedly, Jing, is there something you're unhappy about? If there's anything, just say it. Don't keep it in your heart. It's not good for your health. Ning Shu could hear the probing in Jing Shaozi's tone. He was testing whether she knew about his relationship with Yi Shi. Ning Shu showed a gentle smile on her face. Her eyebrows relaxed and she didn't look depressed at all. There's nothing wrong. Brother Xiaoze, what are you talking about? Jing Xiaoze's eyes scanned Ningshu's face. Finally, he smiled gently. Jing, I'm worried about you. I've been busy with the company's affairs during this time. I'm afraid you'll be angry. If you're angry, you can hit me. Don't keep it in your heart. Jing Xiaoze said as he grabbed Ningshu's hand and put it on his face. Ningshu instantly felt the soft and smooth skin on his face. A man's skin was so good. Ningshu smiled and pinched Jing Xiaoze's face hard. Jing Xiaoze grunted in pain. I'm sorry. It hurts. Ningshu quickly withdrew her hand. I didn't hold back. Jing Xiaoze touched Ningshu's face and comforted her. It's okay. It doesn't hurt. How could it not hurt with a red mark? He could even endure this. Good job. Chapter 635. Jing Xiaoze touched his face. His face was burning, but he looked at Ningshu helplessly and lovingly. Okay, it's time to go down and eat. Ningshu lifted the quilt and was about to get out of bed when Jing Xiaoze squatted down and put on a pair of shoes for Ningshu's feet. He looked gentle and considerate. Why was Jing Xiaoze so divided? He was one in front of her and another in front of Yishi. Was it interesting? Ningshu and Jing Xiaoze went downstairs for dinner. Jing Xiaoze's parents were all there. Including Yishi, there were 5 people at the dinner table. No one spoke at the dinner table, only the sound of chewing could be heard. Ningshu glanced at Yishi, who was eating the nutritious food with her head down. Jing Xiaoze picked up food for Ningshu while looking at Yishi. As soon as Yishi met Jing Xiaoze's eyes, she immediately lowered her head and her chin almost hit her chest. Ningshu ignored the 2 people's flirtatious glances and continued eating. The Jing family was a rich family, so the food they ate tasted really good. I have something to say. Jing Xiaoze's mother put down her chopsticks and said. Jing Xiaoze asked, Mom, what's the matter? Jing Xiaoze's mother looked at Yishi, then turned to Jing Xiaoze's father and said, I want Yishi to work in the company. Yishi looked at Jing Xiaoze's mother in surprise. Work in the company? Yishi looked at Jing Xiaoze, and Jing Xiaoze also looked at Yishi. Their eyes met. Ningshu raised his eyebrows and asked, Why do you want Miss Yi to work in the company? Isn't Miss Ye's job a mother who is preparing to give birth? Jing Xiaoze's mother said, I think Yishi has been staying at home all day and doesn't have much energy. It's better for her to work. Work is also a form of exercise. It's better than staying at home. I don't agree. Jing Xiaoze put down his chopsticks heavily and looked unhappy. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her at home or at the company. Yishi lowered her head and used her chopsticks to stir the food in her bowl. She looked very aggrieved and pitiful. Jing Xiaoze glared at her. Seeing her like this, Jing Xiaoze's face looked even worse. She didn't know if she was angry at herself or at Yishi. The corners of Ningshu's mouth twitched. She was obviously very happy in her heart, but she still disagreed verbally. Bitches were really pretentious. Anyway, I just don't agree with this woman going to the company. Jing Xiaoze reiterated. She doesn't look like someone who works at all. This won't do. Yishi must go to the company. Jing Xiaoze's mother immediately said. Seeing that everyone at the table was staring at her, she coughed and said, I mean, Yishi shouldn't stay at home all day. It's good for her to go out for a walk. Besides, tens of millions of yuan can't be given to Yishi for free. It's good to let Yishi work. Everything is to let Yishi give birth to a healthy child. I can see that Yishi is very reserved in this house. Let her go to the company to help out, Jing Xiaoze's mother said. Ningshu sneered in his heart and faintly said, The radiation in the office is huge. Printers and computers are actually not good for Miss Ye's body. Why must you arrange for Miss Yi to go to the company? Miss Yi is not comfortable at home. We can get another house for Miss Yi to live in and let her recuperate, Ningshu said very considerately. Yishi put down the fork in her hand and said, I'm willing to go to the company. I'm willing to work with my own strength to pay back the money. Ningshu stared at Jing Xiaoze's mother. Then, what kind of work do you want to arrange for Miss Yi? Secretary, Jing Xiaoze's mother said. She must be Jing Shao's secretary. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shao's mother indifferently. She was really a pimp. She tried every means to let Jing Shaoza and Yi Shi be alone and tried every means to get them pregnant. Ning Shu had a gentle smile on his face. He looked at Jing Shao's mother and thought, I hope you can also meet an affectionate and innocent mistress like Yi Shi. I hope your husband can find such a simple and beautiful mistress. Jing Shao's mother saw Ning Shu staring at her and asked, Jing, don't you agree? Why would I? Ning Shu had a smile on his face. I agree with everything mother-in-law said. Jing Shao's mother nodded with satisfaction and said to Jing Shaoza, when you go to work tomorrow, take Yi Shi with you. It's on the way anyway. The two of them don't have to go together, Jing Shao's father said. Jing Shao's father said. Jing Shao's father glanced at Ning Shu. Shaoza is already married. If he goes to the company with another woman, it won't be good for the company's image. Jing Shao's mother looked a little unhappy, but she didn't dare to refute Jing Shao's father. After dinner, Jing Shaoza took Ning Shu out for a walk. Ning Shu saw that Jing Shao's eyebrows were full of joy. He was obviously very happy to work with Yi Shi. Even if he was taking a walk with her now, his mind was elsewhere. Ning Shu resisted the urge to kick Jing Shaoza to death. He smiled quite gently and said, let's go back. I'm a little tired. Jing Shaoza immediately said and turned to go into the house. Ning Shu saw that Jing Shaoza hurriedly went into the house because Yi Shi was in the house. Jing Shaoza didn't even want to do the most basic perfunctory thing now. Of course, this kind of Jing Shaoza made Ni Jing want to target Yi Shi all the time. She made trouble for Yi Shi everywhere. She treated Yi Shi like a servant and made her serve tea. She splashed hot water on Yi Shi's face and cold water on Yi Shi's body. Yi Shi was very strong and stubborn and endured it. However, Ni Jing's actions made Jing Shaoza hate her. Instead, Jing Shaoza protected Yi Shi. He pointed at Ni Jing and said, Jing, you've changed. How did you become so vicious? However, Jing Shaoza had also changed. He was no longer the Ergu that Ni Jing knew. He had a change of heart and even cast aside his responsibility as a husband. There was no right or wrong in love. There was only love and no love. I love your sister. Ning Shu felt that every time he transmigrated, it was a challenge to his worldview. Would they die if they didn't have love? Then they could all go and die. Jing Shaoza probably had a lot of time to spend with Yi Shi tomorrow, so he didn't sneak into Yi Shi's room at night. However, he was in high spirits. He saw Ning Shu staring at him with a smile on his face. This smile was different from the usual gentle smile on his face. This smile could really feel how happy Jing Shaoza's mood was. Jing, why are you looking at me like this? Jing Shaoza walked in front of Ning Shu and gently kissed Ning Shu's forehead. He then stretched out his white jade-like fingers to unbutton Ning Shu's pajamas. Ning Shu, I'm not feeling well. My chest feels stuffy. Ning Shu touched his chest. Jing Shaoza breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, let's go to bed early. Ning Shu saw Jing Shaoza's expression as if he had escaped a disaster and didn't know what to say. Chapter 636. Jing Shaoza wanted to use the method of husband and wife communication to cover up his abnormality, but after being rejected by Ning Shu, he breathed a sigh of relief. After having a taste of Yi Shi, Jing Shaoza didn't think that he could still tolerate such a gentle way of communication. He always had to pay attention to whether the person below him was fine or not, and he always had to think whether it was too heavy. There was no joy to speak of. There was no passion at all. He didn't think so before, but now that he had experienced another kind of exercise, he couldn't communicate with a woman who was weak and had a heart condition. Jing Shaoza felt that it was a kind of torture. Jing Shaoza slightly raised the corner of his mouth and said to Ning Shu, go to sleep. Staying up late is not good for your health. Then he hugged Ning Shu, but what he touched was not warm and fragrant jade. His body was very thin and weak, and he felt that it was all bones. Jing Shaoza let go of Ning Shu without a trace and said gently, go to sleep. Ning Shu twitched the corner of his mouth. This man was the best example that Ning Shu had ever seen of a man's lower body. He looked elegant and noble, but he was greedy for sex. He was a lower body animal. Every day he let Yishi get up with a sore waist. He was so strong, just like a perpetual pile driver. Sooner or later, he would have a kidney deficiency. Ning Shu turned his back to Jing Shaozi and closed his eyes to sleep. The way Ning Shu and Jing Shaozi got along now was the way the original owner got along with her husband. There were no feelings between the two, only indifference and resentment. From the first time Jing Shaozi had sex with Yi Shi, Jing Shaozi and Ni Jing were destined to have this ending. Jing Shaozi took Yi Shi's first time and gave birth to a child for the Jing family. He knew who to choose even with his eyes closed. So, what was the meaning of Ni Jing's existence? Was it to show how strong Yi Shi was? In the face of Ni Jing's difficulties, she silently endured it. She was so strong that it made people's heart ache. Ning Shu and Jing Shaozi slept with their backs facing each other. In the master bedroom, Jing Shaozi's parents were lying on the bed. Be careful when you do things. Don't go overboard in front of Ni Jing. Don't treat others as fools. Jing Shaozi's father frowned and said, Ni Jing is still the daughter-in-law of the Jing family. Jing Shaozi's mother sneered. She's a disabled person who can't give birth to a child. What can she say? I'm just watching Shaozi and Yi Shi sneaking around at night. Besides, it's not good for Yi Shi to rest well at night. Staying up late is not good for her health. What I want is a healthy grandchild. Yi Shi is tall, beautiful, and smart. Her child will definitely be smart and healthy, Jing Shaozi's mother said nonchalantly. Jing Shaozi's father reminded him again, don't go overboard in front of Ni Jing. The company has business dealings with the Ni family. Even a rabbit will bite when cornered. I know. I was afraid that she would find out, so I specially arranged for Yi Shi to work in the company. Don't worry, I've arranged everything properly. Jing Shaozi's mother said. I'm doing this for a grandson. Otherwise, the Jing family will have no successor. Don't you want a grandson? Jing Shaozi's mother asked. Jing Shaozi's father said, I definitely want a grandson, but there must be a limit to what you do. Otherwise, you'll lose everything. The next day, Yi Shi was going to work at the company. Yi Shi changed into an office lady suit. Yi Shi had a good figure and was curvy in the right places. She wore a knee-length skirt with a beautiful wrap. Her legs were slender and straight. Yi Shi was wrapped up tightly, but she was sexier and more charming than bare-chested. When Jing Shaozi saw Yi Shi again, his eyes lit up and his gaze was hot. When Yi Shi met Jing Shaozi's gaze, she couldn't help but blush. She lowered her head and sat on the chair. Yi Shi, after breakfast, I'll send you to work, Jing Shaozi's mother said. Thank you, madam. Yi Shi said gratefully. Jing Shaozi looked at Yi Shi and snorted. You'd better hurry up. The company doesn't accept people who are late and leave early. I know. Yi Shi bit her lips and whispered in the face of Jing Shaozi's bad attitude. Ning Shu ate breakfast. She could even eat in the face of such a disgusting family. Ning Shu felt that her realm had become higher. Although she was angry, she still had to keep a smile on her face. The mind-clearing spell and the calmness halo made her smile as she watched the farce. You want a grandson? Ha. Now, Jing Shaozi's mother treated Yi Shi as a hen that could lay golden eggs and give birth to a golden grandson for the Jing family. What if Yi Shi couldn't give birth to a child? After breakfast, Jing Shaozi glanced at Ning Shu and then touched his lips on Ning Shu's forehead. He took his handbag and left. Before he left, he said sarcastically to Yi Shi, You'd better hurry up. The company doesn't raise lazy employees. If you dare to be late, you can get out of the company. Yi Shi's expression was gloomy. Why did this man hate her so much? He was so gentle to Ni Jing but treated her like a devil. Like a demon, he possessed her body and slashed her heart again and again. Yi Shi felt that she couldn't bear it anymore. This threesome made her feel very painful, very painful. She was like a mouse stealing other people's things, but Jing Shaozi refused to let her go. She was really tired. Let's go. Don't pay attention to that brat, Jing Shaozi's mother said to Yi Shi. She treated Yi Shi as her daughter-in-law. Whoever gave birth would be her daughter-in-law. Ning Shu pursed his lips and watched the two of them leave the living room. Ni Jing, the family is a bit chaotic now. It will be peaceful after the child is born. Jing Shao's father said to Ning Shu, "It's not easy to have a child. You have to bear with it." Ning Shu said with a smile. The family was a bit chaotic now, but it would be more chaotic in the future. It was not easy to have a child, but it would be more difficult in the future. When Jing Shao's father saw the smile on Ning Shu's face, he couldn't help but frown. A layer of dark clouds flashed in his heart. He promised Ning Shu, "You will always be the daughter-in-law of the Jing family. The Jing family still has business dealings with the Ni family. We are a family that doesn't differentiate between you and me." Ning Shu still said with a smile. Jing Shao's father nodded and asked the driver to drive him to the company. After they left, Ning Shu was the only one left in the house. She stood alone in the living room. What family? Ni Jing was an outsider in the Jing family. Ni Jing was the only fool. Ning Shu went upstairs and sorted out some evidence. These things could be exchanged for money. Ning Shu used to be a lawyer. Jing Shao's was completely the wrong party. Also, Jing Shao's mother said to Yi Shi that her son had an affair with a surrogate mother. The compensation Ning Shu asked for would make the Jing family feel the pinch. He could ask for an exorbitant price. However, now was not the time to withdraw. He had to step on the Jing family's back when they were at their most difficult time and let the Jing family be covered in stinky mud. Chapter 637. None of them treated Ni Jing as a human being and thought that it would be fine if they said a few good words about her. Although they said that Ni Jing was Jing Jia's daughter-in-law, they treated Ni Jing like a fool. Jing Shaozi said that he loved Ni Jing and only loved Ni Jing in his life. His way of loving someone was to be with other women. He tried every means to hide it from Ni Jing, fearing that Ni Jing's body would not be able to take it if she knew. Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the bed and practiced martial arts. He was free and unfettered. To be honest, since Yi Shi and Jing Shaozi were not in the room downstairs, Ning Shu did not have to poison his eyes. He had to use a lot of eye drops to wash his eyes every day. There were already a lot of videos on the computer, so there was no need to collect more. In the evening, Jing Shaozi and Yi Shi came back from work one after another. When Ning Shu approached Jing Shaozi, he smelled the scent of shower gel on his body. The hair on Yi Shi's neck was a little wet. Obviously, the two of them took a shower in the company. Jing Shaozi and Yi Shi's clothes were a little wrinkled. Ning Shu could imagine what the two of them did in the office, but he did not say anything. Yi Shi went into his room as soon as he came back. When he came out, he had already changed his clothes. Jing Shaozi gently asked Ning Shu, "What did you do at home today?" "Nothing much, just arranging flowers and acupuncture." "What about you? Are you busy at the company?" Ning Shu asked Jing Shaozi. Jing Shaozi smiled, "It's okay." "Oh, then I'll send you lunch tomorrow. The lunch at the company is definitely not as good as at home." Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi. "Please don't." Jing Shaozi quickly refused, then his expression softened. He took Ning Shu's hand and said gently, "The weather is so hot. Don't come to the company. If something happens on the way, I'll be worried." Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked, "You really don't want me to send you lunch?" "It's okay to send it once in a while, not every day. Maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. It's hard to say." When Jing Shaozi heard Ning Shu's words, his face couldn't help but darken. What if they were caught by surprise? Jing Shaozi hurriedly said, "Don't send me off. It's so hot outside now. You might get a heat stroke if you stand outside in 30 degrees Celsius weather. I care about your health the most. As long as you're fine, I'll be fine even if I starve for 2 days. But if something happens to you, it'll torment me the most." Ning Shu, "Fuck, what should I do if I want to throw up?" Hearing Jing Shaozi's words, Ning Shu's face twitched. He was afraid that Jing Shaozi would say something disgusting again, so he nodded and said, "Okay, I won't deliver the food." Jing Shaozi heaved a sigh of relief. Because he was satisfied during the day, Jing Shaozi would not find various excuses to go to Ning Shu's room at night. He would lie on the same bed with Ning Shu every night. But the two of them were speechless. Jing Shaozi could only say gently, "Sleep, sleep, sleep." Then, the next morning, Jing Shaozi cleaned himself up. As usual, he would gently put on Ning Shu's shoes and comb Ning Shu's hair. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi and really wanted to give him a tight slap across the face. Ning Shu didn't slap him. Instead, he pinched Jing Shaozi's face, and a red mark immediately appeared on Jing Shaozi's face. "Your skin is so tender. It makes me want to pinch it," Ning Shu said with a smile. Jing Shaozi shook his head helplessly. "Just pinch it. Why did you hit me so hard? Are you trying to murder your own husband?" "Yes, murder your own husband." Jing Shaozi looked in the mirror and saw the red mark on his face. He said angrily, "How am I supposed to face people with this?" Ning Shu curled the corner of his mouth and didn't say anything. The two of them went downstairs. Yishi saw the ambiguous red mark on Jing Shaozi's face. Her expression was a little dull and gloomy, as if she had suffered a blow. Jing Shaozi saw Yishi's sad look and couldn't help but frown. He touched the red mark on his face and wanted to explain something to Yishi, but there were so many people watching. He had to wait until they reached the company. Yishi lowered her head and ate breakfast. Jing Shaozi looked at Yishi from time to time, but Yishi didn't even look at Jing Shaozi. She was obviously angry. Ning Shu saw Yishi like this. Did she think that something had happened between her and Jing Shaozi? Why did he feel that Yishi regarded Jing Shaozi as her man? It was reasonable and legal for a husband and wife to be together, but Yishi seemed to have been betrayed. Ning Shu smiled and ate breakfast. "I'm happy to see you guys unhappy." Yishi saw the smile on Ning Shu's face and her expression became even more bitter. Even her eyes were tearing up. Ning Shu smiled even more happily. Jing Shaozi found an excuse to talk to Yishi. "Secretary Yi, there's a document that I can't find. Come with me to the company later." Jing Shaozi emphasized, "It's a very important document." Yishi pursed her lips and didn't speak. She was obviously angry. Jing Shaozi's mother smiled and said, "Yishi, go with Shaozi and help him find the document." "Yes, madam." Jing Shaozi's mother spoke, so Yishi could only nod. Ning Shu still maintained his smile. There would probably be a good show later. "I can explain." "I don't want to listen." "Listen to my fucking explanation." "Then you explain." "I'm listening." "It's not what you think." "I don't want to listen." "I don't want to listen." Since Jing Shaozi didn't want to listen, he would do it. There was nothing that couldn't be solved with one shot. If one shot wasn't enough, he would do it twice. Ning Shu's mind was filled with thoughts. He smacked his lips. Could Jing Shaozi take it? After breakfast, Jing Shaozi said to Yishi, "Come with me to find the document." Yishi could only follow Jing Shaozi. Yishi and Jing Shaozi left. Jing Shaozi's father also went to the company. Jing Shaozi's mother went shopping with her wife for a beauty salon. Ning Shu was the only one left at home. Ning Shu took the pills and also went out with his bag. Ning Shu went to the law firm to find a lawyer. Ning Shu originally wanted to do it himself, but after thinking about it, he still found a lawyer. Ning Shu didn't intend to divorce Jing Shaozi. He directly took Jing Shaozi to court. Not only did he want to sue Jing Shaozi, but he also wanted to sue Jing Shaozi's mother. Anyway, the Jing family didn't want to have a good life and a good reputation. If he did something dirty, he shouldn't be afraid of being exposed. After negotiating with the lawyer, Ning Shu had the video evidence in his hands, so this lawsuit was easy to win. After coming out of the law firm, Ning Shu went back to the Ni family again. Ning Shu didn't tell Mr. and Mrs. Ni that he was going to divorce Jing Shaozi. Ning Shu didn't tell them until just before going to court. He was afraid that they wouldn't be able to resist arguing with the Jing family. Moreover, the Jing family would have a good show soon. At that time, the Jing family would definitely be dumbfounded. He didn't know how her parents-in-law would deal with it. After having lunch at the Ni family's house, Mr. Ni gave Ning Shu some money before leaving. He told Ning Shu to save money and spend it generously. Chapter 638. Ning Shu accepted the money from Father Ni. She had a lot of money, but every time she came back, Father Ni would give it to her for fear that she didn't have enough money. Ni Jing couldn't have children and married the only son of the Jing family. Without children, his daughter would be short of breath. Father Ni was afraid that Ni Jing wouldn't be able to hold her head high in the Jing family, so he could use the Ni family's money to straighten his chest. A married daughter was like spilled water, but the Ni family loved Ni Jing very much and always thought of her. Ning Shu said to her father, "Thank you. You're my daughter. You don't have to thank me." Father Ni's face became serious. "Seeing you like this, your mother and I are sad that we didn't give you a healthy body." Ning Shu smiled. "It's okay. This was something that couldn't be helped. No one wanted to get sick. Ni Jing's body was not healthy, but she was born in a rich family. She didn't need to run around for a living and lived a comfortable life. However, Ni Jing married Jing Shaoze, and Jing Shaoze met Yishi. What a tragic life. If you feel wronged in the Jing family, come back. Dad will take care of you." Ning Shu said, "We don't have to be humble to them. Maybe she would really come back soon." After leaving the Ni family's house, Ning Shu thought about it and decided to go to the Jing family's company to take a look. Maybe he could see some erotic scenes. Maybe he could see them pulling up their pants in a hurry. When he arrived at the company, Ning Shu went all the way to the president's office. When he opened the door, he saw Jing Shaoze and Yi Shi feeding each other. Their heads were almost leaning against each other. The atmosphere was very sweet, so sweet that it made people shiver. Ning Shu instantly felt cold dog food on his face. "Who asked?" When Ning Shu opened the door, Jing Shaoze immediately stood up and shouted at Ning Shu angrily. However, when he saw that it was Ning Shu, the anger on his face suddenly disappeared. Ning Shu asked stiffly, "Why are you here?" Yi Shi turned her head and saw Ning Shu. Her face suddenly turned pale and the chopsticks in her hand fell to the ground. She immediately bent down to pick them up in a panic. She looked like she was about to cry. Jing Shaoze frowned tightly and then put on a gentle look. He walked quickly to Ning Shu and wiped the sweat on Ning Shu's forehead with a handkerchief. He asked, "Why didn't you call me when you came? I'll go downstairs to pick you up." Ning Shu smiled and said, "I'm just here to have a look. Are you guys having lunch?" "And I asked Secretary Yi to send lunch over. Do you want to eat some?" Jing Shaoze's eyes were filled with tenderness. "Forget it, let's go to the restaurant for dinner. You won't be used to the company's food," Jing Shaoze said as he dragged Ning Shu out of the office. "It's not easy for you to come here. I'll take you to eat something delicious." Jing Shaoze gave Yi Shi a look, but Yi Shi looked panicked and didn't understand what Jing Shaoze wanted to say. Jing Shaoze looked at Ning Shu's frightened look and couldn't help but frown. He could only talk to Ning Shu to divert his attention. Ning Shu said that he was not a child and would be distracted by a few words, but Ning Shu didn't intend to pay attention to him at all. He wouldn't say a few words like this. Even if he questioned Jing Shaoze would find various reasons to evade him. He could only listen to Jing Shaoze's lies and feel disgusted. "Have you taken a shower?" Ning Shu asked Jing Shaoze. The smell of shower gel was very strong. It was obvious that he had just taken a shower. It was probably because they couldn't restrain their sweetness and started to feed each other after taking a shower. Their lives were so depraved. Jing Shaoze said without changing his expression, "The weather is too hot and my body is sticky with sweat. It's more refreshing to take a shower." See, everything he says is a lie. Now, Jing Shaoze doesn't speak a word of truth. Ning Shu stopped and said, "I have already eaten at home. I just dropped by to take a look. You can go back to work." Ning Shu smiled very gently. Jing Shaoze breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Do you want me to send you back?" "No, you can go back to eat." Ning Shu turned and left. Jing Shaoze quickly turned and walked into the elevator. Ning Shu looked back and saw that Jing Shaoze had disappeared. This butt-face ran so fast. He was in such a hurry to go back to find Yi Shi. Ning Shu shrugged his shoulders. "Well, why should I go up to see what you are doing?" Ning Shu walked into the elevator and went to the president's office. He secretly opened the door and saw Jing Shaoze and Yi Shi pulling and pulling. Yi Shi said in tears that they couldn't do this anymore. It was wrong. Yi Shi felt that she couldn't bear it anymore. She wanted to leave, but what about her family? Without the funds from Mrs. Jing, her father's company would go bankrupt. However, she fell in love with someone else's husband. Yi Shi's heart was tormented. Jing Shaozi said evilly, "Don't forget your responsibility, which is to get pregnant and give birth to the child." Jing Shaozi pushed Yi Shi against the desk and kissed her. Yi Shi began to struggle and finally wrapped her arms around Jing Shaozi's neck. Ning Shu looked at this scene and felt as if she had been slapped in the face by the public display of affection. "Haha," Ning Shu gently closed the door and kicked it. He turned and walked into the elevator. "You adulterers are scared to death." In the evening, Jing Shaozi and Ning Shu went home one after another. Both of them didn't look very good. When Jing Shaozi saw Ning Shu, he wanted to say something but hesitated. It was obvious that he wanted to ask something but couldn't say it. Ning Shu leisurely said, "Hold it in. I won't tell you that I didn't see anything that I shouldn't have." As soon as Yi Shi came back, Jing Shaozi's mother pulled Yi Shi into the room. The first thing she said was, "Yi Shi, do you feel anything wrong with your body?" Yi Shi shook her head and looked at Jing Shaozi's mother blankly. She said, "Mrs. Jing, I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm asking if you're pregnant. Is your menstruation still normal?" Jing Shaozi's mother frowned. "It's been 3 months since you came to the Jing family. Why aren't you pregnant?" Yi Shi looked very uneasy and whispered, "It's normal, Mrs. Jing. I've tried very hard, but this kind of thing is out of my control." Yi Shi had tried very hard to get pregnant, but she still couldn't get pregnant. Yi Shi felt a lot of pressure, especially when she saw Jing Shaozi's mother's unhappy and gloomy expression. She was afraid that Jing Shaozi's mother would withdraw the funds, so she said, "Mrs. Jing, do you want artificial insemination? I don't know when I can get pregnant." Yi Shi used to reject this job, but now she wanted to get pregnant as soon as possible. Jing Shaozi's mother refuted directly. She had done so much, so it was impossible for her to still need artificial insemination in the end. She wanted a grandson who could be born naturally. Chapter 639. Yi Shi touched her belly. She also wanted to get pregnant. If she was pregnant, she could get rid of the current situation. After giving birth, she might be able to get rid of this secret love. She and Jing Shaozi had no future. He loved his wife, and her dignity did not allow her to stay by his side regardless of her sense of shame. As long as she gave birth, she would leave. "Get pregnant quickly. You can't delay it for too long," Jing Shaozi's mother said to Yi Shi. Jing Shaozi's mother said to Yi Shi. Jing Shaozi's mother rubbed her forehead. "I can't delay it for too long. Ni Jing will find out. This child must be Ni Jing's. This child has a capable uncle and a rich family. You also want your child to have a good future, right?" Jing Shaozi's mother patted Yi Shi's shoulder. "The Ni family is on the same level as the Jing family." Yi Shi pursed her lips. She suddenly had a trace of undetectable jealousy towards Ni Jing. Her younger brother was a person with no talent. Her father's company had a problem, and he had to rely on her to be a surrogate to solve the company's crisis. Although Ni Jing's health was not good, she grew up like a princess who was protected. Yi Shi took a deep breath. "Madam, I will get pregnant as soon as possible." Jing Shaozi's mother nodded with satisfaction. Ning Shu saw Jing Shaozi's mother coming out of Yi Shi's room. He raised his eyebrows and asked, "What did mother-in-law say to Miss Yi?" She even closed the door and whispered to her. Jing Shaozi's mother said, "She went to tell Yi Shi to go to the hospital for a physical examination tomorrow." Ning Shu just smiled. "I think Miss Yi's body is very healthy. Her lips are red, her teeth are white, and her complexion is rosy. She doesn't need to take care of her health at all. This depends on what the doctor says," Jing Shaozi's mother said. The next day, Jing Shaozi's mother took Yi Shi to the hospital for a checkup. It was not to check whether she was healthy or not, but to check if she was pregnant. When the urine test failed, they took a blood test. However, the result was that she was not pregnant. Jing Shaozi's mother's face darkened, and Yi Shi also lowered her head in frustration. "All the tests are normal. Why can't she get pregnant?" Jing Shaozi's mother frowned and looked at Yi Shi. "I can only give you another month at most. That's all I know." Yi Shi quickly nodded. Jing Shaozi's mother was infuriated. Seeing that Yi Shi was also angry, she turned around and left. Yi Shi followed Jing Shaozi's mother out of the hospital. She felt very uncomfortable and pressured. Why wasn't she pregnant? Ning Shu was enjoying the cool air conditioner at home. He was sitting on the sofa and eating fruits when he saw that Jing Xiao's mother and She had returned. Both of them had ugly expressions on their faces. Ning Shu asked, "How's the physical examination? Can Miss Yi undergo the embryo implantation surgery now?" Jing Xiao's mother was originally unhappy, but when she heard Ning Shu's words, she urged him to hurry up. "We still have to wait for a month. The doctor said we'll talk about it after a month," Jing Xiao's mother said impatiently. "Let's see how long you can drag this out." Ning Shu raised his eyebrows. "Another month? Is there a problem?" "There's no problem. The doctor said that Shi's body is a little weak, so she needs to recuperate for a while." Jing Xiao's mother had to answer Ning Shu's words, and her expression became even uglier. Ning Shu said, "Oh, then recuperate well. Don't go to work. It's really tiring to go out early and come back late. Let her go to work. It's good for her health to run more," Jing Xiao's mother quickly said. "You're really working hard to make Shi pregnant." Ning Shu smiled and said, "Whatever you say, mother-in-law." While Ning Shu and Jing Xiao's mother were talking, Shi lowered her head and did not say a word. Shi still went to work with Jing Xiao every day and came back together after work. Perhaps Ning Shu did not say anything, but Jing Xiao was a little bold. Both of them went to work together in the morning and evening. Jing Xiao also tentatively asked Ning Shu, "Jing, you won't be angry if I go to work with Shi, right? It's all my mother's fault. She said it's not safe for a girl to go to work alone." Ning Shu was drinking juice and smacked his lips. "What's wrong with that? It's just going to work." A gentle smile appeared on Jing Xiao's face and he even reached out to scratch Ning Shu's nose. Ning Shu almost choked on the juice. He was really disgusted. "My Jing is really a kind person," Jing Xiao said with a smile. "Fuck, I really want to vomit on your face. Tolerating you guys like idiots who don't know anything is kind?" Even if Jing Xiao had a handsome face and elegant manners, Ning Shu still felt that Jing Xiao's face was hideous and ugly. How disgusting must a man be to do such a thing? Ning Shu looked at Jing Xiao and smiled without saying a word, even if his heart was raging. A month later, Jing Xiao's mother took Shi to the hospital for a checkup. However, she was still not pregnant. When they went for a checkup, Shi was actually still on her period. Shi did not dare to tell Jing Xiao's mother. After a series of examinations, Jing Xiao's mother learned that she was not pregnant. Her face was dark. Shi was very frightened and she begged Jing Xiao's mother for mercy. "Madam, I really tried my best. I also want to get pregnant but I just can't. So annoying." Jing Xiao's mother rubbed her forehead. Did she really have to do an artificial pregnancy? Shi's various examinations were normal, so Jing Xiao's mother had to take Jing Xiao to the hospital for a checkup. When Jing Xiao heard that he had to undergo a checkup, his face turned dark. Any man would feel unhappy when his ability was questioned. Jing Xiao felt that there was nothing wrong with him. In particular, one of the tests made Jing Xiao feel terrible. It penetrated his balls and it was so painful that he wanted to die. After a whole set of examinations, Jing Xiao's face turned dark. However, the results of the examination made Jing Xiao's dark face turn pale. Jing Xiao was suffering from azoospermia and the number of sperm was very low. In other words, Jing Xiao was suffering from infertility. Jing Xiao's mother flipped through the diagnosis report again and again. Her hands were trembling and her face was pale. "Doctor, is there a mistake? My son can't be infertile. This is impossible. It's impossible." Jing Xiao's mother was shocked. What should she do? "I've confirmed it several times. Mr. Jing is indeed in such a situation." The doctor spread out his hands and said, "If you don't believe me, madam, you can do another test." Jing Xiao was in a trance from the beginning to the end. It was as if his soul had left his body. "Xiaoze, go and check again." Jing Xiao's mother pulled Jing Xiao, who was sitting on the chair. "Maybe there's a mistake. Go and check again." Jing Xiao's expression was dull. He stood up and staggered twice. His head was heavy and his feet were light as he walked into the laboratory. Chapter 640. Jing Shaoze endured another round of painful harvesting. When he came out, his face was as white as a sheet and his body was shaking violently. Yi Shi hurriedly supported Jing Shaoze and helped him sit down. Jing Shaoze was trembling all over and almost slipped to the ground when he sat on the chair. Jing Shaoze? Yi Shi couldn't help but call out softly when she saw Jing Shaoze like this. Jing Shaoze ignored Yi Shi and held his head with his hands. His body was about to curl up. Jing Shaoze's mother was waiting at the door of the laboratory. She clenched her fists tightly and kept praying in her heart that it was a mistake. Her son couldn't be infertile. It was impossible. Jing Shaoze's mother's lips were trembling and her face was trembling. She couldn't control her expression and her face looked particularly ferocious and terrifying. After a long wait, every second was a painful torture for the people guarding the door. Jing Shaoze held his head and put his hands into his hair. He grabbed his hair tightly and tears slowly flowed out of his eyes. His tears fell to the ground and he fainted. Yi Shi, who was sitting next to Jing Shaoze, saw him crying and was a little shocked. She never thought that this evil and omnipotent man would actually cry. Yi Shi didn't understand how big of a blow it was for a man to lose his fertility. A man's dignity would be greatly reduced and he would lose his self-confidence. Now, Jing Shaoze felt as if his spine had been pulled out and he was in a trance. This incident almost broke Jing Shaoze. Yi Shi couldn't help but hug Jing Shaoze, wanting to give him some warmth. She could understand the pain of infertility. In the past few months, she had been under a lot of pressure. She was crazy about getting pregnant. However, Yi Shi breathed a sigh of relief. At least now it was not her responsibility. Even if she was not pregnant, the responsibility was not hers. Yi Shi was very afraid of Jing Shaoze's mother. Jing Shaoze's mother would only make her pregnant. As long as she checked that she was not pregnant, Jing Shaoze's mother would be cold. She could only beg and beg. She needed the money from Jing Shaoze's mother to save her father's company. No matter how much suffering and blame she had to endure, she would endure. However, she immediately thought that if Jing Shaoze was really infertile and she couldn't get pregnant, would Jing Shaoze's mother take back the money? Yi Shi was also praying that Jing Shaoze's body would be fine. It would definitely be fine. With a creak, the door of the laboratory finally opened. The three people guarding outside held their breaths at the same time and looked at the doctor. The doctor held the test report in his hand. Facing the gazes of the three people, he shook his head and said, "The same result." Impossible. Jing Shaoze's mother snatched the test report from the doctor's hands. Her hands trembled violently as she tore the report apart. Jing Shaoze's face was as white as snow. In the end, he rolled his eyes and fainted. Yi Shi was worried about money and her relationship with Jing Shaoze. She had suffered so much with Jing Shaoze, so what did the previous hardship count for? When she saw Jing Shaoze fainting on the ground, she quickly said to Jing Shaoze's mother, "Madam, Jing Shaoze fainted." Jing Shaoze's mother was tugging at the doctor's white coat and saying that the doctor had misdiagnosed. When she heard Yi Shi's words, she turned her head and saw her son lying on the ground. She cried out and threw herself on Jing Shaoze's body, crying for her son. A nurse pushed the hospital bed over and pushed Jing Shaoze into the ward. Jing Shaoze's mother also rolled her eyes and fell to the ground with a plop. Yi Shi had just put Jing Shaoze on the hospital bed when Jing Shaoze's mother fainted again, making Yi Shi flustered. Yi Shi gritted her teeth and endured it. Ning Shu was watering the flowers at home when he received a call from Ning Shu. She said that Jing Shaoze and Jing Shaoze's mother were both hospitalized and asked Ning Shu to hurry to the hospital. When Ning Shu heard this, he put down the watering can, took off his scarf, went upstairs to change his clothes, took the quick-acting cardio reliever pill, put it in his pocket, and went to the hospital. When Ning Shu arrived at the ward, Jing Shaoze's father was already in the ward. His expression was cold and there was sweat on his forehead. Obviously, he had just arrived at the hospital. Yi Shi was talking to Jing Shaoze's father. When she saw Ning Shu, she shut her mouth and did not say anything. When Jing Shaoze's father saw Ning Shu, he sighed and frowned. Ning Shu walked to Jing Shao's bedside and saw that Jing Shao's face was pale and even his lips had lost their color. What's wrong? Why are both of them hospitalized? Ning Shu asked. Jing Shao's father sighed heavily. Let's talk about it when we go back. Jing Shaoze and his mother just fainted because of anger in their hearts. They were not sick and both of them woke up one after another. Jing Shaoze's mother woke up and hugged Jing Shaoze's father. She cried and sobbed as she asked, "What should we do? What sin have we committed?" Jing Shaoze's mother wailed loudly, causing the nurses and doctors to look at her. Jing Shaoze's father's face darkened and he scolded her in a low voice. "Shut up. We'll talk about it when we go back." The two of them were soon discharged from the hospital. Jing Shaoze's father gave the hospital some money and destroyed Jing Shaoze's medical records. The only heir of the Jing family was infertile, which would cause an uproar in the company. Ning Shu helped Jing Shaoze, who had been silent, get into the car. She stood outside the car, hesitating whether she should get in or not. This was their family matter. Was it appropriate for her to listen? "You get in too," Jing Shaoze's father said to Yishi. Yishi could only get in the car. The car soon arrived at the villa. When they got home, Jing Shaoze could no longer control his emotions and smashed everything in the living room like a madman. The vase was broken into pieces, the coffee table and chairs were overturned, and the floor was a mess. In the end, Jing Shaoze sat on the ground weakly, panting heavily. Jing Shaoze's father looked at Jing Shaoze. "You vented enough. Look at yourself. Why are you so desperate?" "My son Shaoze." Jing Shaoze's mother sobbed. She covered her mouth and looked at Jing Shaoze with tears flowing down her face. Ning Shu was expressionless, but she had a distressed look on his face. Jing Shaoze's father asked the servants to clean up the house. Then, he gave the servants a day off and asked them to leave the villa. "Hubby, what should we do?" Jing Shaoze's mother asked Jing Shaoze's father helplessly. She was a woman, so she could only ask the pillar of the family and let him make the decision. Jing Shaoze's father glanced at Ning Shu and Shi and said in a low voice, "Don't talk about this matter." "Got it," Ning Shu and Shi said in unison. Jing Shaoze got up from the ground and walked over to hug Ning Shu. He murmured, "Jing Jing Jing Jing." Ning Shu smiled gently and comforted Jing Shaoze. "It's not a big deal. There are more things waiting for you." Chapter 641. Jing Shaoze hugged Ning Shu tightly, as if he wanted to draw warmth from Ning Shu's body. Ning Shu gently patted Jing Shaoze's back and said lightly, "No matter what you are, I don't care." "I don't care." She stared blankly at Jing Shaoze hugging Ning Shu. His expression was a little gloomy. When he was the saddest, he thought of his wife. He was nothing. What's no big deal? Jing Shaoze's mother looked at Ning Shu's understatement and vented her anger on Ning Shu. "Are you happy that Shaoze can't have a child? You can't have a child, Shaoze can't have a child. Are you happy?" Ning Shu pushed away Jing Shaoze, who was hugging her. It was really hot to hug him on such a hot day. Moreover, Jing Shaoze's tears were dripping on her shoulder, sticky. "Mother-in-law, what are you talking about?" Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaoze's mother, who was biting her like a mad dog. "Look at you. You're happy that Shaoze can't have a child." Jing Shaoze's mother pointed at Ning Shu, as if she wanted to vent all her anger on Ning Shu. "Maybe you're cursing Shaoze to be unable to have a child in your heart. A woman's heart is the most vicious, you vicious woman." Ning Shu frowned tightly. She was pointed at and scolded by Jing Shaoze's mother, but no one in the room said a word. Jing Shaoze looked absent-minded. In the end, Jing Shaoze's father saw that his wife was venting her anger and coughed, interrupting Jing Shaoze's mother's scolding of Ning Shu. There was no point in continuing to scold her, and it would only distract her daughter-in-law and the Jing family. Jing Shaoze couldn't divorce again after such a thing happened to him. It would make the relationship between the Jing family and Ni family rigid. Jing Shaoze's mother could only shut her mouth, but her eyes were still stabbing at Ning Shu like a knife. Jing Shaoze's father, Ning Shu, said, "Your mother-in-law is not in a good mood right now, so please bear with her. She had to take responsibility for everything. Even though she was not an idiot or a deaf person, Jing Xiao's father was too torturous. He was just playing the good cop and bad cop. It could be said that Jing Xiao's father had to take full responsibility for what had happened. Jing Xiao's mother was the executor, and Jing Xiao's father had acquiesced to her actions. Ning Shu didn't say anything. Jing Xiao's father rubbed his forehead and looked much older. Pull yourself together. Look at you. Jing Xiao's father yelled at Jing Xiaozi, who was sitting on the sofa. Jing Xiaozi took a deep breath, looking dejected. Hubby, what should we do now? Jing Xiaozi's mother was at a loss. She really didn't know what to do now. Is this the end of the Jing family line? Jing Xiaozi's mother's breath was weak, and the arrogant aura around her slowly disappeared. She had given birth to an infertile son, so she felt a little ashamed. At the same time, she was also afraid of her position in this family. Jing Xiaozi's father rubbed his forehead. How do I know what to do now? Ning Shu said faintly, isn't there still Miss Yi? Miss Yi may be our family's savior. Everyone in the room was stunned and looked at Yi Shi. Yi Shi was at a loss. She obviously didn't understand what Ning Shu meant. Miss Yi is a surrogate mother. Brother Xiaozi is infertile, but you are. Ning Shu had a faint smile on his face. You can let Miss Yi be the surrogate mother for your child with mother-in-law. This way, the Jing family may have another heir, Ning Shu said faintly. Jing Xiaozi's mother was almost 50 years old. It was one thing for an elderly woman to give birth to a healthy child or not. However, if the embryo was to be transferred, they could choose to combine a healthy egg and let the young Yi Shi be the surrogate mother. The child would be healthier than Jing Xiaozi's mother's child. No. No. Jing Xiaozi's mother and Jing Xiaozi retorted in unison. Jing Xiaozi, who had been out of sorts and hadn't said a word since the incident, finally spoke up. He looked at Ning Shu with bloodshot eyes, making his expression look ferocious and terrifying. Absolutely not. Yes, you can't. Jing Xiaozi's mother's face was pale and terrified. She shook her head and shouted no. See, if the knife wasn't stabbed in one's body, one would never know how painful it was. Jing Xiaozi's mother found a surrogate mother for her son. Not only did she find a surrogate mother, but she also made her son sleep with the surrogate mother. She treated Ni Jing as nothing. Now that Ning Shu proposed to let Yi Shi be the surrogate mother for her and Jing Xiaozi's child, she couldn't stand it anymore. The surrogate mother who slept with her son ended up being the surrogate mother and father's child. This was a drama. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows. Why not? Miss Yi is the surrogate mother anyway. She just needs to borrow Miss Ye's body to give birth to the child. Anyway, you can't. Jing Xiaozi's mother gritted her teeth and looked at Ning Shu. Anyway, don't mention this again. Ning Shu shut his mouth and sat aside without saying anything. Jing Xiaozi panted heavily and looked at Ning Shu with red eyes. Jing, how can you let Yi Shi be the surrogate mother for mom and dad's child? Don't you know, Brother Xiaozi, why not? Miss Ye's existence is to give birth to an heir for the Jing family. Brother Xiaozi, you don't have... Ning Shu paused. How can there be no one to inherit the Jing family's business? This is all for the Jing family. My in-laws will understand. Everything is for this family, Ning Shu said. Jing Xiaozi's mother's face was pale. She looked at her husband with tears in her eyes and said in a choked voice, Hubby, you won't let Yi Shi be the surrogate mother, right? Hubby, Yi Shi was her son's woman. Ning Shu's face became serious and said, Grandma, why don't you let Miss Yi be the surrogate mother? Do you want to give birth to a child yourself? You can manually screen it and combine it into a healthy child. Mother-in-law, this is all for the Jing family to have an heir, Ning Shu said to Jing Xiaozi's mother. This is your child too. Shut up. Jing Xiaozi's mother, Ning Shu, shouted, You vicious woman. What do you mean? Why do you have to let someone be the surrogate mother? Ning Shu was stunned. Isn't Miss Yi here to be the surrogate mother? It's just that she's now the surrogate mother for you and father-in-law's child. Besides, Miss Yi is the surrogate mother that Grandma found for you. Okay, stop arguing. Jing Shao's father interrupted Ning Shu and Jing Shao's mother's argument in a low and dignified voice. We'll talk about this later. And I, Jing, go and take care of Shaozi. Jing Shao's father rubbed his forehead. Yi Shi, who was not far away, was in a daze. She felt that she was a commodity that could be dealt with at will. Moreover, she was a commodity that only had one purpose: surrogacy. She would be the surrogate mother of anyone's child. No one asked for her opinion and everyone ignored her. No one cared about her feelings. Chapter 642. From the beginning to the end, Yi Shi did not say a word. She watched them argue as if she was not involved in the matter. Yi Shi felt like her heart was being torn apart. She had abandoned her dignity for the sake of tens of millions of yuan. From the moment she set foot on this road, there was no turning back. Yi Shi looked at Jing Shaozi. She hoped that Jing Shaozi could stand up to protect her and say no to her. However, he only had his wife in his heart. Yi Shi felt humiliated. She and Jing Shaozi were husband and wife, but she had to be a surrogate mother for Jing Shaozi's parents' child. Yi Shi wanted to refuse and say no, but standing in this luxurious living room, she had to go all the way for the sake of money. In the end, Jing Shaozi's father did not agree to let Yi Shi be the surrogate mother. Obviously, he knew that Jing Shaozi was his son's woman. Jing Shaozi's mother was relieved. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked, "Miss Yi is the surrogate mother, but you don't need her now. What about the high surrogate fee?" Hearing Ning Shu mention the surrogate fee, Yi Shi immediately looked at Jing Shaozi's mother with pleading eyes. Her father's company could not be taken away. Jing Shaozi's mother was very unhappy with Yi Shi now. She said coldly, "Since there is no surrogate mother, the money must be taken back." Yi Shi's face suddenly turned pale. She staggered to Jing Shaozi's mother. She knelt down in front of Jing Shaozi's mother and tugged at the hem of Jing Shaozi's mother's skirt. She cried and begged, "Madam, I beg you. My father is still waiting for the money. Get up. I will help your father's company." Jing Shaozi's father interrupted Yi Shi. Obviously, he did not want her to say that she had given her body to Jing Shaozi. Now that the situation was so chaotic, Yi Shi could not say anything that would make Ni Jing explode. If the Ni family made a fuss, they would be in a terrible fix. Everything was ready, and things were going well. However, he never expected that his son had a problem with his body. Jing Shaozi's father said this to stabilize the situation and Yi Shi. However, Jing Shaozi's mother was furious. She looked at Jing Shaozi's father blankly and cried, "Why are you helping her? Do you want her to be a surrogate mother? Or have you fallen for this vixen?" Jing Shaozi's mother yelled without a care. She bared her fangs and brandished her claws. Her nails scratched Jing Shaozi's father's face, leaving a red mark. "Enough! Do you know what you're saying?" Jing Shaozi's father's face was burning and his face was trembling. He glanced at his son and growled at Jing Shaozi's mother. "Mom," Jing Shaozi shouted with a gloomy expression. "Don't talk nonsense." Jing Shaozi's mother calmed down instantly. She bit her lip tightly and stopped talking. After such a ruckus, everyone was exhausted. Ning Shu sat on the sofa and drank water. He looked relaxed as he scanned the expressions of the people in the room. Jing Shaozi's father was depressed. Jing Shaozi's mother was furious. She looked at Yi Shi with unkind eyes. Yi Shi was no longer the woman who gave birth to a golden grandson for her. Jing Shaozi was in a trance. Clearly, he hadn't recovered from the blow. He probably thought he was dreaming. Yi Shi's silent tears made one's heart ache. She was the only one in the room who was happy. The Jing family was in chaos. The people's hearts were in chaos. The issue of the heir of the Jing family had become more complicated because of Jing Shaozi's infertility. If Yi Shi and Jing Shaozi didn't have sex, it wouldn't be a big deal if Yi Shi really wanted to give birth to Jing Shaozi's parents' child. However, the problem was that Yi Shi was Jing Shaozi's woman. Even if they weren't related by blood, it was taboo. "Go make some food," Jing Shaozi's father said to his wife. Jing Shaozi's father said to his wife. He had let all the servants go earlier, so there was no one to prepare dinner now. Jing Shaozi's mother turned her head. Ning Shu said, "And I, Jing, you go make it." Ning Shu shook his head and said, "My heart is not good. I can't stand oil and smoke." Jing Shao's mother's expression was ugly. She muttered, "I've never seen a mother-in-law serve her daughter-in-law." Ning Shu's expression was normal, as if he didn't hear Jing Shao's mother's words. "How about I go make it?" Yi Shi said carefully. Jing Shao's mother glanced at Yi Shi with an unkind expression. She curled her lips and said, "Then you go make it." Yi Shi lowered her head and went to the kitchen. She fiddled with it for a while and cooked some simple noodles. The taste was not very good. Besides, they didn't have much appetite, so they stopped eating after 2 mouthfuls. Only Ning Shu finished the bowl of noodles and even drank the broth. Seeing Ning Shu like this, Jing Shao's mother put down her chopsticks and said coldly, "Look at your greedy face. Those who don't know will think that the Jing family lacks food for you." "Enough, don't make trouble." Before Ning Shu could speak, Jing Shao's father scolded her. Jing Shao's mother was very angry. She picked up the chopsticks and poked the noodles in the bowl, stirring the noodles until it was unbearable. After dinner, Ning Shu went back to the bedroom to take a shower and sleep. Ning Shu came out of the bathroom and saw Jing Shaozi sitting by the bed. Jing Shaozi forced a smile and said to Ning Shu, Jing, you will always be with me, right? Until we grow old." Ning Shu said to Jing Shaozi, "Don't think too much. No matter what you are, it makes no difference to me." Jing Shaozi suddenly smiled and said, Jing, I know you love me." Jing Shaozi went to take a shower and lay next to Ning Shu. Ning Shu said, "Go to sleep." Jing Shaozi closed his eyes obediently. Ning Shu fell asleep in a daze. When she woke up again, she found that Jing Shaozi, who was sleeping next to her, was gone. Ning Shu rolled her eyes and took out her laptop from the drawer. She opened it and looked at it. Jing Shaozi, who was supposed to be upstairs, ran to Yi Shi's room. The two were like injured and crazy beasts, entangling each other. "Although I can't have children, I can still fuck you." Jing Shao's voice trembled as if he was about to cry. His movements were very fierce. "You are mine. You are not allowed to be a surrogate for others." Jing Shaozi said in a rough voice. Yi Shi cried in a low voice, but she tightly grasped Jing Shaozi's strong shoulders. Her nails dug into his flesh, but Jing Shaozi did not feel the pain and vented his anger with a ferocious face. The two were like injured beasts, biting each other's wounds but hurting each other's wounds. Ning Shu watched the intense video, yawned, and saved it. Ning Shu was speechless. Before going to bed, Jing Shaozi said that he would grow old together. This night, Jing Shaozi went to Yi Shi's bed. Did Jing Shaozi remember what he said? He made a promise to a woman, but in the blink of an eye, he was with another woman. His love was like this. His promise had no power. Chapter 643. Ning Shu didn't expect Jing Shaozi to have such thoughts. Did he want to vent his pain? Ning Shu rubbed his eyes as he looked at the screen. He had just woken up and the light from the computer hurt his eyes. After saving the video, Ning Shu turned off the computer. Before he fell asleep, Jing Shaozi came back and quietly went to the balcony. Ning Shu smelled cigarettes and alcohol. He turned over and saw a small red dot on the balcony. Obviously, Jing Shaozi was smoking. Jing Shaozi didn't touch cigarettes or alcohol. He was a well-educated and elegant young master. He looked extremely decadent now. He had just come back from Yi Shi's bed and stayed up all night to smoke and drink. Ning Shu ignored him and lay on the bed motionlessly. He closed his eyes and went to sleep. "You can do whatever you want." Jing Shaozi slept on the balcony at night. Ning Shu got up and went to the balcony. He saw bottles and cigarette butts all over the floor. The whole balcony was dirty and messy. Jing Shaozi's face was very ugly. His hair was a little wet from the dew. Ning Shu pushed Jing Shaozi. "Wake up." Jing Shaozi opened his eyes. His eyes were bloodshot and looked very scary. Jing Shaozi wanted to speak, but his throat hurt. He coughed hoarsely and finally coughed violently. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi. He couldn't take it anymore? This was just the beginning. Jing Shaozi coughed for a while and finally stopped. He rubbed his forehead and felt very uncomfortable. His eyes were red. He looked at Ning Shu and looked very pitiful. Go and take a shower. Ning Shu had a gentle smile on his face. Jing Shaozi stood up and staggered twice to stabilize himself. He held the wall and went to the bathroom to take a shower. Jing Shaozi and his father didn't go to the company after such a thing happened. No one made breakfast. When Jing Shaozi's mother saw Ning Shu, she said angrily, "Why are you so lazy? Why didn't you get up until now? Go and make breakfast." "I'm not feeling well." Ning Shu directly refused. Jing Shaozi's mother glared at Ning Shu. "What's with your attitude?" Ning Shu's face was expressionless as he drank from his cup. "Hey, Jing, I'm talking to you." Jing Shaozi's mother, Ning Shu, shouted. "I'll do it," Yishi quickly said. When Jing Shaozi's mother saw Yishi, her face turned even uglier. She said coldly, "I'm talking to Jing. Why are you interrupting? Do you have the right to speak here?" Yishi was stunned speechless by Jing Shaozi's mother's words. She lowered her head and stood aside. When Jing Shaozi's mother saw Yishi behaving like an aggrieved little bitch, Jing Shaozi's mother felt suffocated. "But who are you trying to impress?" Jing Shaozi's mother stared at Yishi. "Is this how you seduce people?" Yishi looked innocent and at a loss. She shook her head and said, "I'm not, madam. I just want to help make breakfast." Yishi felt that she was really innocent. She only said one sentence, and it made Jing Shaozi's mother fly into a rage. Yishi could only bite her lips tightly and remain silent. Jing Shaozi's mother looked at Yishi with disgust. She then turned her head and looked at Ning Shu. Jing Shaozi's mother was no longer as friendly to Yishi as before. However, she hated Ning Shu even more for suggesting that Yishi be the surrogate mother for her and her husband's child. "And Jing go and cook?" Jing Shaozi's mother looked at Ning Shu and insisted that Ning Shu cook. Ning Shu said faintly, "I don't know how to cook. I never cook." After taking a shower, Jing Shaozi went downstairs. His face was very pale, his eyes were red, and he looked very haggard. "What's wrong?" Jing Shaozi asked in a hoarse voice. At the same time, he kept rubbing his forehead. When Jing Shaozi's mother saw her son like this, she immediately felt distressed. She quickly asked, "Shaozi, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so pale?" Overnight, Jing Shaozi no longer had the elegance and nobility he used to have. He had lost his confidence, as if his backbone had been taken away. A man who was infertile had completely lost his value in life. Now, Jing Shaozi couldn't find his direction. He couldn't find his own value. "Are you okay?" Yishi couldn't help but ask. She thought of last night when they were entangled. Drops of hot tears dripped on her face and chest. Yishi was full of heartache for Jing Shaozi. Previously, Jing Shaozi's disgust, sarcasm, and hurt to her had all disappeared from Yishi's mind. Now, Yishi's mind was only filled with the image of Jing Shaozi crying silently. "Shaozi, look at what kind of wife you married. It's fine that she can't have children, but she's also so lazy. She doesn't do anything. I can't even get her to do anything." Jing Shaozi's mother complained to her son. Her eyes were full of resentment when she looked at Ning Shu. When Jing Shaozi heard the words, "can't have children," his face suddenly darkened. His face trembled and the red veins in his eyes became more obvious. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Son, I didn't mean that you can't have children. No, I meant an Jing." When Jing Shaozi's mother saw Jing Shaozi's expression, she knew that she had poked his sore spot. She quickly explained, but the more she explained, the uglier Jing Shaozi's face became. "I told you not to make trouble. You ignored my words." Jing Shaozi's father came out of the room and sternly shouted at his wife. I just asked Jing to make breakfast. She didn't listen to me." Jing Shaozi's mother looked even more aggrieved. When she saw her husband's horrified expression, she almost cried. Jing Shaozi's father sternly said, "You know that she's not in good health. Why don't you just do it? Why are you so lazy? What's wrong with cooking?" Jing Shaozi's mother's face turned red and resentful after being scolded by Jing Shaozi's father. She was a noble lady who had never done any household chores. Even if she wanted to drink water, there would be a servant to hand it to her. Now she actually had to cook. Come with me to cook, Jing Shao's mother said to Yi Shi in a sharp voice. Okay. Yi Shi followed into the kitchen. Jing Shao's father, Ning Shu, said, Daughter-in-law, now that such a thing has happened in the family, I hope you and Shaoza can live well. Shaoza can't accept the fact now, but he'll be fine after a while. Ning Shu indifferently hummed in agreement. Jing Shao's father said again, Both of you can't have children. You can adopt the child. The child can also be registered in the Jing family's household register. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked in an inexplicable voice, Do you mean that the adopted child also has the right of inheritance? Jing Shao's father was silent. Obviously, he would not hand over the Jing family's big business to someone who was not related by blood. Chapter 644. Since an adopted son didn't have the right to inherit, what was the point of having an adopted son? Ning Shu asked Jing Shao's father, Why do you want us to adopt a child? This child can't inherit the Jing family. Jing Shao's father looked at Jing Shaoza, who was sitting on the sofa with his head down, and said, A child can accompany you. Ning Shu narrowed her eyes. It seemed that her father-in-law had accepted the fact that Jing Shaoza was infertile. Ning Shu grinned and asked, You only have one son, Brother Shaoza? Are you going to give the Jing family to someone else? Jing Shao's father glanced at Ning Shu and said unhappily, It's too early to say anything. Shaoza is my son. Of course he has the right to inherit the Jing family. Shaoza only has a physical problem. He is still my son. The Jing family will be handed to him. Jing Shao's father said. But Brother Shaoza and I don't have children. Ning Shu raised her eyebrows. Jing Shao's father rubbed his forehead and said, I thought about it all night and decided to surrogate a boy. Jing Shaoza turned to look at his father and asked in a hoarse voice, Dad, you want to find a surrogate? Jing Shao's father nodded. I've decided to have another child. I'll hand the Jing family to you, and then you'll hand it to him. In other words, he was just a middleman. Jing Shaoza pursed his lips tightly. His pupils trembled and he couldn't speak for a long time. He didn't have the ability to reproduce. What was originally a sure thing had now become confusing. The Jing family originally belonged to him. Now he was going to have a younger brother to compete with him for the Jing family. Ning Shu glanced at Jing Shao's mother, who came out of the kitchen with a bowl of noodles, and asked her father-in-law, Have you thought of a surrogate? Since she's going to be a surrogate, she must be healthy. When Jing Shao's mother heard Ning Shu's words, the hot bowl of noodles fell to the ground. The hot soup splashed on the back of her feet, and it burned painfully. But she couldn't care less about that now. She walked up to Jing Shao's father and asked sharply, Are you looking for a surrogate? Calm down. Jing Shao's father saw that she was about to explode. Aren't we discussing this? I can't calm down. Why do I have to look for a surrogate? I will never agree to look for a surrogate unless I die. Jing Shao's mother was extremely agitated. She was afraid that her husband would become a surrogate just like her son. She didn't regret finding a surrogate mother for her son, but she wouldn't allow herself to end up like Ni Jing. Ni Jing was silly, but she wasn't. What are you going to do if you don't become a surrogate? Do you want the Jing family line to end? Jing Shao's father scolded. Get lost if you continue to fool around. Haven't I treated you well all these years? Jing Shao's father said coldly, You're the only woman with only one child. Now that the Jing family line is about to end, if you continue to pester us endlessly, we'll divorce. Jing Shao's mother opened her mouth and her expression softened. She forced herself to say, Why do I have to look for a surrogate mother? It's not like I can't give birth. Shaoza is the only child you've had for so many years. You didn't have any children when you were young. What can you give birth to at your age? Jing Shao's father said bluntly. Can you be more sensible? Jing Shao's mother was so angry that her face turned pale. She shouted hysterically, Is the surrogate mother pregnant with our child or your child with the surrogate mother? What nonsense are you talking about? Jing Shao's father glanced at Ning Shu. Can't you think before you speak? Of course she's pregnant with our child. Jing Shaoze was in a daze. Listening to his parents' words, his world turned upside down. Jing Shaoze felt that he had been abandoned by the world. His parents were talking about having another child in front of him. Because they couldn't, they had lost their fertility and everything. There seemed to be a beast in Jing Shaoze's heart, constantly roaring and tormenting him. Ning Shu coughed and said, "Since you've decided to have a surrogate mother, you only need a surrogate mother now. There's a ready-made surrogate mother at home. You just need to go to the hospital for a checkup and you'll have children soon." Ning Shu flipped his hair. "And you can have twins." "I'm willing to be a surrogate mother," Yi Shi, who came out of the kitchen, said loudly, but her voice was trembling. As soon as Yi Shi said this, several people in the living room looked at her in a daze. Yi Shi said again, "I'm willing to be a surrogate mother for Mrs. Jing and Mr. Jing's child." Ning Shu was a little surprised. Yi Shi didn't seem to want to be a surrogate mother for Jing Shaoze's parents' child. "Hey, you bitch." Jing Shaoze's mother rushed in front of Yi Shi and slapped her hard. "You shameless bitch." Jing Shaoze's mother hit Yi Shi like a madwoman and scolded her at the same time. Yi Shi bit her lips tightly. She groaned in pain and let Jing Shaoze's mother hit her. Crash, clang, Jing Shaoze trembled all over and overturned the coffee table. There was a loud noise, and the vase and fruits on the coffee table rolled to the ground. Jing Shaoze's mother, who was hitting Yi Shi, suddenly looked at her son in astonishment. Jing Shaoze's hair hung in front of his forehead, forming a shadow, and his whole body exuded a gloomy aura. Jing Shaoze's father rubbed his forehead and walked in front of Jing Shaoze's mother. He slapped her so hard that Jing Shaoze's mother fell to the ground. Jing Shaoze's mother covered her face and looked at her husband in shock. Her eyes were full of grievances and resentment. She questioned Jing Shaoze's father and pointed at Yi Shi with trembling fingers. "You hit me for this, bitch." Chapter 645. Jing Shaoze fainted and the living room was in chaos. There were broken pieces of vase on the ground, falling fruits, and muddy noodles. When Jing Shaoze's father saw the scene, his blood pressure soared and he almost fainted. He rubbed his forehead and sat on the chair. He looked very tired. As the head of the Jing family, Jing Shaoze's father couldn't control the current situation. Now, the situation was like a wild horse running out of its anus. Ning Shu said to Jing Shaoze's father, "Call the hospital and ask them to send someone to check on Brother Shaoze." Jing Shaoze's father let out a long sigh and made the call. Soon, doctors and nurses came. After the doctor checked, he just said that Jing Shaoze was too tired and weak and there was no major problem. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaoze and fainted in anger. He couldn't stand it when he heard that Yi Shi wanted to be a surrogate mother for his parents' child. Jing Shaoze was moved to the bedroom and Ning Shu stayed by the bed. Yi Shi wanted to stay, but she had no reason to. Ning Shu saw Yi Shi standing at the door and asked, "Miss Yi, do you really want to be a surrogate mother for my parents-in-law's child?" Yi Shi bit her lip. Her lip was already broken and she was beaten by Jing Shaoze's mother before. Her face was swollen and there was some blood at the corner of her mouth. "Yes, I have decided to be a surrogate mother for Jing Shaoze's parents' child." Yi Shi's face turned red. She felt that saying such words in front of Ni Jing hurt her self-esteem. Even if Ni Jing didn't know her relationship with Jing Shaoze, Yi Shi still felt that she was at a disadvantage when she said such words in front of Ni Jing. Her face was burning and she was very ashamed. Yi Shi glanced at Jing Shaoze on the bed and turned to leave. Ning Shu stayed by the bed and waited for Jing Shaoze to wake up. Jing Shaoze's smooth and white skin was a lot dimmer, as if covered with a layer of dust. The effect of one's mood on one's body. Jing Shaoze woke up after 3 hours. Ning Shu inserted a straw into the cup and asked Jing Shaoze, who was staring at the ceiling, "Do you want some water?" Jing Shaoze sat up and drank water with a straw. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and said, "Didn't you freeze your sperm before? We can go and see if frozen sperm can give birth to a child." Right. Jing Shaoze's eyes lit up for a moment, then dimmed again. "Since there's something wrong with my body, it's the same to freeze it before." "You can go and take a look," Ning Shu said. What if this is only temporary and it wasn't like this before? Hearing Ning Shu's words, Jing Shaoze excitedly lifted the blanket and planned to go to the hospital. Jing Shaoze's parents accompanied Jing Shaoze to the hospital, but Ning Shu didn't go. It was too hot every day, she didn't want to run around. She saw Jing Shaoze leaving in a hurry and hesitated for a while. Ning Shu asked, "What are they going to do?" Ning Shu looked at Shi. Her face was pale, and her originally beautiful face was now very ugly. Ning Shu felt that Shi was also quite hardworking. In order to save her father's company, she endured all kinds of torture. Women also had women's advantages. A woman's body was a weapon and capital. In fact, the love between Jing Shaoze and Shi was a transaction of money and sex. In the end, it was beautified with true love. They went to the hospital, Ning Shu said faintly. Shi saw that Jing Shaoze was ignoring her, so she could only stand aside. Ning Shu waited for Jing Shaoze and Shi to come back. She chanted the mind-clearing mantra in her heart to remove the dust in her heart. She had experienced too many things, seen all kinds of things, and seen all kinds of dark things. Those who sacrificed their souls to counterattack were all people who had been wronged and wronged. The people who caused harm to these people were often the people closest to them. Emotions were the most uncontrollable and ethereal things. They were the most firm and fragile things that could be easily destroyed and changed. After seeing so many of these things, Ning Shu's heart would be indignant and angry. These emotions would stain her soul and heart with dust and change her temperament. She could only constantly clean up the garbage in her heart. Only then could she maintain her original self. Not long after, Jing Shaoze came back. He didn't stop and hurried upstairs. When he went upstairs, he slipped and fell, but he quickly got up. Jing Shaoze locked himself in his bedroom and didn't want to see anyone. Jing Shaoze's father was afraid that Jing Shaoze would take things too hard, so he took out the key to open the bedroom. Jing Shaoze opened the door and said lightly, "Let me be alone. I'm not weak enough to commit suicide." Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaoze's empty eyes. There was no light in his eyes, and it was even scarier than before. Jing Shaoze's father sighed silently and could only let him be. Looking at this, Ning Shu knew that the result was not good. She had just seen a little hope, but now it was shattered. Jing Shaoze didn't even take half a step out of the bedroom, so Ning Shu could only sleep in the guest room. She ate and slept soundly every day. Jing Shaoze's mother put the food at the door of the bedroom every day. Jing Shaoze would open the door and take the food in. After eating, he would take the bowl out. There was no movement in the room. No one knew what Jing Shaoze was doing in the room. Jing Shaoze was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Everything had been smooth since he was a child. When he suddenly encountered such a blow, he couldn't bear it. Speaking of which, Jing Shaoze was not as strong as Jing. Jing had endured the torture of illness since she was a child and couldn't have children. The pressure she was under was greater than Jing Shaoze's current pressure, but she wasn't as strong as Jing Shaoze. She was also worried about Jing Shaoze, but she didn't dare to express it. Moreover, she had to endure Jing Shaoze's mother's difficulties all the time. Jing Shaoze's mother was now thinking of ways to torture Shi and was very rude to her. To be honest, Shi and Jing Shaoze's mother had a deal, so there was no need for her to endure it. She probably fell in love with Jing Shaoze, so she could only endure Jing Shaoze's mother's bullying. Jing Shaoze's mother rarely came to trouble Ning Shu. Firstly, Ning Shu wouldn't tolerate her bullying. Secondly, Jing Shaoze's father repeatedly warned her not to provoke Ning Shu. Now that Jing Shaoze was in such a situation, he couldn't lose a family like the Ni family. In the past, the Jing family could still be full of confidence, but they couldn't be tough anymore. Jing couldn't have children, and Jing Shaoze couldn't have children either. The two of them were truly equal. Jing Shaoze, who had been decadent in the bedroom for nearly half a month, came out. Before coming out, he even washed up. Although he had lost weight, he was still in good spirits. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and looked at Jing Shaoze. Jing Shaoze hugged Ning Shu and took a deep breath. Jing, I'm back. I won't dwell on this matter anymore. Jing Shaoze said, I want to grow old with you. Ning Shu withdrew from Jing Shao's arms and looked at Jing Shao's. After experiencing this blow, Jing Shao's spirit was worse than before, but he was calmer. Did Jing Shao's walk out of the shadow, or did he want to bury this thorn deep in his heart? Chapter 646. Jing Shao's father breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that his son had finally pulled himself together. During this period of time, Jing Shao's father had been very worried. Not only did he have to stabilize the company, but he also had to worry about his family. He was also worried that his son's health had deteriorated. He was worried that the Jing family would have no descendants. At this time, Jing Shao's father was very regretful. He should have played more while he was still young. Maybe he even had an illegitimate child now, so the Jing family would not have no descendants. At that time, he thought that it would be enough to have Jing Shao's as a son. It was better to raise him well than to have more children. There was competition everywhere and internal strife consumed the Jing family's resources. He never expected that Jing Shao's only son would be infertile. Seeing that Jing Shao's problem was solved, Jing Shao's father hurriedly wanted to solve the surrogacy problem. When Jing Shao's father proposed the surrogacy, although Jing Shao's mother was unwilling, she did not dare to make a fuss. She said, "I must be present during the surrogacy and it will be our child." She could not raise another woman's child. That's for sure. Jing Shao's father said, "I have another request." Jing Shao's mother pointed at Yi Shi. "I don't want her to be a surrogate." Jing Shao's looked at Yi Shi with an ugly expression. "I don't agree with her being a surrogate either. She was supposed to be a surrogate for me and Jingjing, but now she has to be a surrogate for Dad and Mom. What is this?" However, Ning Shu said, "Why don't you use Miss Yi? She is young and beautiful and in good health. Didn't your mother-in-law give you half of the deposit? She is just borrowing a body to give birth to a child. It has nothing to do with whose child the surrogate is." When Jing Shao's heard Ning Shu's words, anger flashed in his eyes. Yi Shi was his woman. How could she be a surrogate, especially for Dad and Mom? "Jingjing, I don't like her. Let Dad and Mom find a new surrogate mother." Jing Shao's held Ning Shu's hand and said softly. Ning Shu smiled and did not say anything. Jing Shao's father said directly, "I will find a surrogate mother. Miss Yi is not needed." Yi Shi's face turned pale. She quickly knelt down in front of Jing Shao's mother and begged, "Madam, please, let me be the surrogate. I'm willing to be the surrogate." Jing Shao's mother was infuriated. "You shameless bitch. You're not allowed to be a surrogate just because I said so. Get out of my house now." Jing Shao's mother was now looking left and right, up and down. She felt that Yi Shi was a vixen who seduced her son and now wanted to seduce Jing Shao's husband. Yi Shi shook her head in panic. "Madam, please, let me be your surrogate." If she could not be a surrogate, what would happen to her father's company? Yi Shi knew that if she could not be a surrogate, Jing Shao's mother would definitely not give her the money for free. Seeing Yi Shi like this, Jing Shao's was so angry that he stood up and wanted to teach this woman a lesson, but he restrained himself. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows at this scene. Previously, Yi Shi had been unwilling. Now, surrogacy was the only option left for her. Only the Jing family could afford such a high surrogacy fee. Jing Shao's mother was so angry that she slapped Yi Shi. "Why are you so shameless?" Yi Shi covered her face and stubbornly knelt on the ground. When Jing Shao's saw Yi Shi being slapped, his eyes flashed with heartache. After experiencing all kinds of things, Jing Shao's realized that Yi Shi was engraved in his heart. However, at the same time, he could not give up on Ni Jing. After all, Ni Jing was the wife that he married at all costs. Ning Shu did not target Yi Shi as he did in the plot. He was not so vicious, and Jing Shao's heart was not completely biased towards Yi Shi. However, he also fell in love with Yi Shi. Without Ning Shu's viciousness as a foil, Jing Shao's struggled like this. "Mom, don't worry about her," Jing Shao's said coldly. "Can she be so thick-skinned as to stay in the Jing family?" When Yi Shi heard Jing Shao's words, she bit her lip and cried. Her eyes were full of sadness as she looked at Jing Shao's. Jing Shaoza's father never intended to let Shi be the surrogate mother from the beginning. It was a mess for his son's woman to be his surrogate mother. However, Shi was determined to stay in the Jing family. For Jing Shaoza's sake, Jing Shaoza's father did not drive Shi away. However, Jing Shaoza's mother did not want to see Shi for a moment. She insisted on driving Shi away no matter what. Jing Shaoza's father scolded, "It's so late. If she wants to leave, she should leave tomorrow. Let her stay for one night." Jing Shaoza's mother looked more and more suspicious. She felt that this woman was seducing her husband. After the family meeting, it was very late. Ning Shu and Jing Shaoza went back to the bedroom to rest. As soon as they returned to the bedroom, Jing Shaoza held Ning Shu's hand and said emotionally, Jing, so many things have happened, but you're still by my side. Thank you." Ning Shu smiled gently and chuckled in his heart. "Damn, I really want to give you a big slap." They were saying affectionate words, but in the middle of the night, Butt-Face disappeared again. Ning Shu, he took out his laptop and opened it. As expected, Butt-Face Jing Shaoza was in Yishi's room. The two fell on the bed. Jing Shaoza pressed Yishi's wrist and said fiercely, "Do you want to be a surrogate for my father so much? Do you know that you're my woman?" Yishi cried silently. Jing Shaoza was very impatient. "Tell me. Since I came to this house, I have no way out. I have to be a surrogate for the Jing family. Only then can I save my father's company. For money, for my father's company, I can do anything." "You." Jing Shaoza was depressed. "Why are you so stubborn? As long as there's money to solve the crisis of your father's company, you won't be a surrogate, right?" Yishi was silent for a while and finally said, "Yes. If you need money, I'll give you money. Do you dare to take it?" Jing Shaoza's face was full of calculation. Yishi looked at him vigilantly and then asked, "What do you want?" "Be my mistress and leave here tomorrow. I'll buy a house for you alone. The money I give you will be considered as a maintenance fee." "Jing Shaoza, don't insult me," Yishi shouted agitatedly and struggled hard. Jing Shaoza clasped Yishi's wrist and didn't let her struggle. "Didn't you say that you can do anything for money? Didn't you say that you can pay any price to save your father's company? You have to think carefully. Your father is still waiting for money to save his life. Without money, maybe tomorrow's newspaper will be the news of an entrepreneur jumping off a building." Jing Shaoza threatened Yishi. Yishi's face was pale. Don't say it, don't say it. Besides, it's not like we haven't done it before." Jing Shaoza curled his lips, making Yishi so embarrassed that her whole body burned. Yishi looked conflicted. She bit her lip and said after a while, "I can be your mistress, but you have to give me the money first. I don't trust you." Chapter 647. Yishi compromised. Too many things were pressing on her, so she had to compromise. Besides, she still had feelings for Jing Shaoza. She wanted to stay by this man's side and steal as much time as she could. Perhaps when Jing Shaoza hated her, she would be ruthless enough to leave him. "I'll give you the check now." Jing Shaoza took out the check. Obviously, he came prepared and was sure that Yishi would accept his conditions. Yishi took the check and looked at it carefully. She nodded and said, "I'll leave tomorrow." "Also," Jing Shaoza lifted Yishi's chin. "Don't let Jing know about this. Don't let her know at all. You can't take the initiative to look for Jing. You will always be a mistress. Don't think about anything else. If you violate the agreement between us, I can let your father's company live or die." Jing Shaoza looked at Yishi coldly. Yishi bit her lips. "I know. Good girl." Jing Shaoza lowered his head and kissed Yishi's lips. Yishi took the initiative to wrap her arms around Jing Shaoza's neck. Ning Shu was speechless. Ning Shu thought that he was experienced and knowledgeable, but he was still shocked. He was still too inexperienced and made a fuss over nothing. Yishi also played a little trick. It was still uncertain who took advantage of who. She refused to leave even if she died because she was waiting for Jing Shaoza. Ning Shu saved the video, turned off the computer, and went to sleep. He thought that infertility could defeat Jing Shaoza, But Jing Shaozi survived and became more reckless. He even had the mood to sleep with Yi Shi now. He even had the look of, "I love my wife very much. Don't dream of being my wife. Why didn't I just give you an extra injection and make you impotent?" The next day, Yi Shi packed up and left. She probably went to the house that Jing Shaozi prepared for her and hid her in there. When Jing Shaozi's mother saw Yi Shi leave, she suddenly looked like she had won a fight. At the same time, she was glad that she had sent away a plague. Jing Shaozi's mother was afraid that her husband would be seduced by this shameless bitch. If she could seduce her son for money, she could also seduce her husband for money. At this time, she had completely forgotten how she had used money to make Yi Shi compromise. Both mother and son were the same. Jing Shaozi's mother turned her head and glanced at Ning Shu, who was eating breakfast. Her heart was filled with disdain and a sense of superiority. Silly woman, she didn't even know that her husband was having fun with another woman. Ning Shu finished the last mouthful of milk in the cup, returned to the bedroom, stuffed the laptop into her bag, and took the quick-acting heart-relieving pill back to her mother's house. Seeing that Ning Shu was about to leave, Jing Shaozi's mother asked, "Where are you going?" "Go home. There's not a single servant in the house. It's too inconvenient. Go home and stay for a while." Ning Shu lifted his chin and said without any trace of politeness. Jing Shaozi's mother was infuriated. "Why do you keep coming to my house? You're a member of the Jing family now. Soon it won't be." Ning Shu ignored her and returned to the NI residence. When he saw his parents, the first thing he said was, "Dad, Mom, I want a divorce." Father Ni's eyes widened. "So sudden?" Ning Shu picked out a few videos and showed them to the NI couple. "I won't let a single person from the Jing family off." Father Ni immediately had high blood pressure after watching the videos. He only recovered after Mother Ni fed him some medicine. These filthy things. Father Ni gritted his teeth. "Divorce, we must divorce these bastards." Father Ni called Ni Yen, who was at work, and told him to come home immediately. When Ni Jing's older brother, Ni Yen, came home, he saw Father Ni looking like he was going to flip the roof. "What's going on? Look at this nest of bastards." Father Ni pushed the laptop in front of Ni Yen. Ni Yan's eyebrows twitched as he watched the videos. His expression became more and more strange. After watching it, Ning Shu asked, "How did you get this?" "Of course I filmed it," Ning Shu said. Ni Yen smacked his lips. "You're pretty strong to not have a heart attack after seeing this." Was this a compliment? We can't let the Jing family off so easily. Father Ni was so angry that he couldn't breathe properly. Ni Yen looked at Ning Shu. "I think you should get a divorce. Staying in such a family is very harmful to your body. Who knows if they will do something to hurt you? They are deliberately hiding it from you because they are worried about the Ni family." "Brother, I will definitely get a divorce. I've already found a lawyer and I'm just waiting for the court to summon Jing Shaozi," Ning Shu said. Father Ni nodded immediately. "If you get a divorce, I will take care of you. If I'm not around, your brother will take care of you." "What do you need me to do?" Ni Yen asked. "Not at the moment. With the videos in her hands, she could ruin the Jing family's reputation. She didn't need to worry about anything at all. After all, Ni Jing's family background was comparable to the Jing family's." Ning Shu stayed at the Ni family's house. Mother Ni made many of Ni Jing's favorite dishes and kept putting food in Ning Shu's bowl while wiping her tears. Ning Shu ate whatever Mother Ni put in her bowl. She wasn't picky about food and could eat anything when she was in a difficult situation. Ni Yen ate slowly and glanced at Ning Shu. "Fortunately, you didn't do anything. If the Jing family found out in advance, you might not be able to come back. Your body is not good to begin with. Even if something happened to you, you could just say that you had a heart attack. We can't do anything about it." Ning Shu nodded. Otherwise, why would she endure it? If she was imprisoned by the Jing family, her body was too weak and she couldn't breathe after running a few steps. Ning Shu didn't think that she could escape. Ning Shu called the lawyer and asked her to prepare the documents for the court hearing as soon as possible. Jing Shaozi and Yi Shi were together. They bought an inconspicuous apartment for Yi Shi. Although it was in a remote area, the interior decoration was very luxurious. While the two were hugging, Jing Xiao's phone rang. The moment he picked up, his father's roar could be heard. "Where are you? Come back quickly. There is a court summons." Jing Xiao was baffled. It must be something serious that made his father panic. He was ready to go back. Yi Shi hugged Jing Xiao's waist. Jing Xiao patted Yi Shi's hand gently. "I'm going back. Have a good rest today." Yi Shi nodded obediently and watched as Jing Xiao left. When Jing Xiao returned home, a piece of paper was thrown at his face. Jing Xiao's father roared at him, "Look at what this is. Ni Jing wants to divorce you and is directly suing you in court." Jing Xiao was stunned and didn't come back to his senses for a long time. "What divorce? Who wants a divorce?" Jing Xiao looked at the court summons. It was too sudden. Why did Ni Jing suddenly want a divorce with him? There were no signs at all. Jing Xiao's father rubbed his forehead tiredly. Ni Jing has gone back to her parents' home now. Go and pick her up now. Be humble. So be it. I don't want such a daughter-in-law. Jing Xiao's mother pursed her lips. "Shut up, brainless woman." Jing Xiao's father roared with a black face. Chapter 648. You must bring Ni Jing back. If you can't, you don't have to come back. Jing Xiao's father roared at Jing Xiao. Jing Xiao's expression was a little dazed. Obviously, he didn't expect Ning Shu to divorce him. It was something he had never thought of and he couldn't accept for a while. Go quickly. The family is in a mess now. You can't divorce at this juncture. Jing Xiao's father urged. Not only was Jing Xiao stunned, but he was also stunned when he received the court summons. Jing Xiao turned and ran to the living room. He went to the garage and drove to the Ni family's house. When Jing Xiao arrived at the Ni family's house, he walked into the living room and saw Ning Shu sitting on the sofa and whispering to Mother Ni. Looking at her leisurely and incomparably relaxed appearance, she didn't look like someone who was going to divorce at all. Jing Xiao's heart immediately flared up. Was she playing with him? As soon as Jing Xiao walked in, the Ni family focused their eyes on him. Their eyes were incomparably disdainful and resentful. Father Ni immediately stood up and was about to teach Jing Xiao a lesson. Ning Shu held Father Ni down and said, "I'll handle it." "Can you do it? If you can't, I'll kick him out." Ni Yen crossed his legs and asked Ning Shu. Ning Shu grinned. Jing Xiao felt that the atmosphere was very strange. When the Ni family saw him, they seemed to eat him alive. He looked at Ning Shu with a sad expression. Jing, what's going on? Why do you suddenly want a divorce? What about me if we get a divorce? Aren't you trying to kill me? Jing Xiao's expression was helpless and doting. Stop fooling around. Come home with me. If there's anything, we'll talk about it at home. Ning Shu's expression was cold and indifferent. It's as you see. We're getting a divorce. See you in court. Why? Jing Xiao really didn't understand. Looking at Ning Shu's indifferent face, he couldn't come back to his senses. Ni Jing was the most gentle person. Her smile was very gentle. Now, she was so cold and distant. The coldness that came from her bones made Jing Xiao feel very strange. Ning Shu said, "You'll know why I want to divorce you when we're in court. Just a gentle reminder, the court will be held soon. Have you hired a lawyer?" "I'm serious." Jing Xiao fidgeted with his hair and took 2 steps towards Ning Shu. Ning Shu immediately retreated a few steps to keep a distance from Jing Xiao. Jing, do you have to be like this? Even if you want to sentence me to death, you should at least pin a crime on me. I will never agree to a divorce for no reason, Jing Xiao said firmly. I don't care whether you agree or not. Anyway, I want a divorce. Ning Shu sneered. Does it matter what you want to do at that time? It was not important at all. Jing Xiao couldn't hold back his anger. What are you doing? So many things have happened recently and we've survived. Jing Xiao was about to vomit blood. Can't you talk nicely? Ni Yen said to the police, Please send him back to where he came from. Thank you. The police came up and were about to take Jing Shaozi away. Jing Shaozi got up from the ground and Ning Shu ran over. Ni Yen blocked Jing Shaozi and punched him in the face. Jing Shaozi was beaten to the ground and was taken away by the police. Jing Shaozi looked at Ning Shu and shouted, "Ni Jing, what do you want, Ni Jing?" Ning Shu patted his chest and said in fear, "Take him away, he wanted to hit me." Jing Shaozi. Jing Jing Ni Jing? Jing Shaozi was dragged away by the police. He struggled and kept shouting Ni Jing's name. Ni Jing, I will never agree to a divorce. Over my dead body. Jing Shaozi leaned against the window and shouted, "Jing Jing, I love you, don't do this to me." The police closed the window and Jing Shaozi's wailing could no longer be heard. Chapter 649. As soon as Jing Shaozi left, the living room became much quieter. Ning Shu let out a long sigh of relief. Oh my God, he finally left. Daughter, are you okay? Ning Shu's father asked. Ning Shu shook his head. I'm fine. I've already made up my mind. I'm not sad anymore and I won't waver. I'm definitely going to get a divorce. Ni Yin looked at Ning Shu and said, Jing Shaozi has some feelings for you because he wants to have his cake and eat it too. This kind of thing is very normal in a family of our level. It just depends on whether you can tolerate it or not. Ning Shu squinted. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. I'd rather die than live in dishonor. Is this normal? Brother, I've never seen you do this before. I've never seen you fool around with other women. I definitely can't tolerate this kind of thing. Look at the Jing family's plan. They want me to raise someone else's child. Brother, you'll have a cheap nephew who not only wants to inherit the Jing family, but also wants to take over our family. Ning Shu said coldly. Ni Yen said, it's good that you've made up your mind. Then you can do things decisively. Don't get involved after a while. Brother, don't worry. After being treated like this by the Jing family, I'll still be able to return to the Jing family. I must be crazy. Ning Shu said indifferently. Our family has some business with the Jing family. We'll withdraw now. Ni Yen said. Don't feel bad when the time comes. Why would he feel bad? Jing Shaozi was taken to the police station. The police asked what had happened and found out that it was a conflict between the husband and wife, so they let Jing Shaozi go. Jing Shaozi's face was extremely dark. When he returned home, he hesitated at the door for a long time, not daring to open the door. In the end, Jing Shaozi entered the house. The living room was brightly lit. Jing Shaozi went to the police station and it was already early in the morning. Jing Shaozi's parents were still awake. They sat on the sofa and waited for Jing Shaozi to come home. Jing Shaozi called out tiredly. Jing Shaozi's father saw his son coming home alone and his eyelids twitched. He had a bad feeling in his heart. Why are you back alone? Jing Shaozi hung his head even lower and refused to speak. Jing Shaozi's father quickly asked, what's going on? Tell me. Ni Jing didn't come back with you. Didn't I ask you to bring her back? Talk to your son properly. Can't you see how tired he is? Jing Shaozi's mother said worriedly. Jing Shaozi could only recount everything that had happened in the Ni residence. Jing Shaozi's father's face darkened. Ni Jing actually called the police to arrest you? What? How dare she do this to you? Jing Shaozi's mother's body was trembling. It was outrageous for a wife to let the police arrest her husband. It was already a blessing for a crippled woman to be able to enter the Jing family. How dare she do such a thing? Jing Shaozi's father knew that the relationship between the two families had broken down. The Ni family didn't even give him a heads up before asking the police to arrest them. People at their level cared about face the most. Even if they didn't want to deal with them, they would still pretend to be polite on the surface. He wouldn't have shed all pretense of cordiality like this. Jing Shaozi's father rubbed his forehead and stood up to make a call. However, he got up too suddenly and felt dizzy. He fell back onto the sofa. Hubby! Jing Shaozi's mother was shocked to see him like this. She quickly asked, what's wrong? Jing Shaozi also looked at him worriedly. Jing Shaozi's father waved his hand. Give me the phone. I'll call old man and I. Jing Shaozi took the phone and gave it to his father. Jing Shaozi's father then called Fodder and I. As soon as the call was connected, Jing Shaozi's father said, "Old and I'm Shaozi's father." After he introduced himself, Fodder and I cursed Jing Shaozi's father like a storm. He couldn't wait to curse all 18 generations of the Jing family. Fodder and I originally felt guilty for not giving his daughter a healthy body and taking good care of her. Back then, he saw that Jing Shaozi was someone who could take care of his daughter and gave him the same amount of betrothal gifts. Now that his daughter was ruined like this, he still wanted his daughter to raise someone else's child. This was too much of a bully. He didn't take the Ni family seriously and even had designs on the Ni family. Jing Shaozi's father couldn't say a word. On the other side, Fodder Ni hung up after he finished cursing. Jing Shaozi's father sighed in his heart. It seemed that the Ni family was determined to divorce. Jing Shaozi looked at his father. Jing Shaozi's father looked at Jing Shaozi and said, "Now we have to prepare for the worst." The Ni family's attitude is very firm. "I don't want to divorce Ni Jing," Jing Shaozi said. Jing Shaozi's father glared at him. "Even if you want a divorce, you have to ensure the Jing family's rights and interests. You have to get back the company's shares." Jing Shaozi looked a little dispirited. He couldn't figure it out. Why does Ni Jing want a divorce? Jing Shaozi's father glanced at his wife and son and narrowed his eyes. Maybe Ni Jing knows about Shaozi and the surrogate mother. Impossible. I've kept it a secret. She can't know. Jing Shaozi refuted. Even if she knows, it's impossible that she won't make a fuss. She never mentioned this matter and didn't even ask. Jing Shaozi's father was silent. In the end, he said, "No matter what, you have to get back that 1% of the shares. If she doesn't give it to you, you must not divorce." Jing Shaozi pursed his lips. He didn't want to divorce. He and Ni Jing had always been getting along well. When they were together, they were very calm and comfortable. It was different from the intense feeling they had when they were together with Yi Shi. Jing Shaozi sat on the sofa tiredly. The recent events made Jing Shaozi feel very tired and almost broke down. Ever since Yi Shi came to the Jing family, things had developed out of control. He wouldn't have been found out that he was infertile. It wasn't easy for him to walk out of the shadow, but now he was going to divorce. Jing Shaozi might not have walked out of the shadow at all. When others looked at him, Jing Shaozi felt that the person's eyes were mocking him. Even if the person's eyes were normal, he felt that the person must be mocking him in his heart. Jing Shaozi felt that he couldn't control his emotions. He was no longer as calm and confident as before. What confidence did a man have when he was infertile? If he had a choice, Jing Shaozi would rather spend the rest of his life with Ni Jing and still have the reputation of a loving wife. Because his wife couldn't have children, he didn't have children for the rest of his life. It was a pity that he couldn't control himself. At this time, Jing Shaozi's phone rang. Jing Shaozi picked it up. It was Yi Shi calling and asking if he was going to her place tonight. Jing Shaozi was annoyed now. He didn't like anyone, especially his mother. He resented her for finding a surrogate mother and making him sleep with Yi Shi. He also didn't like Yi Shi. If it weren't for Yi Shi, things wouldn't have turned out like this. He also didn't like Ning Shu. This woman was so heartless. She divorced him without any hesitation. She was so cold to him and called the police. Chapter 650. Jing Shaozi's heart was full of resentment. Yi Shi's call was like hitting the muzzle of a gun. Jing Shaozi yelled directly, "Will you die without me? Stay in the house and don't go anywhere. I won't go to your place for a while." Jing Shaozi hung up the phone after yelling. On the other end of the phone, Yi Shi held the phone and was stunned. Her face was bitter and tears fell down. She was a mistress without dignity, a mistress who came and went as she pleased. Jing Shaozi had always treated her as if she was dispensable, but she fell in love with this heartless man. The Jing family was gloomy, but Ning Shu was very comfortable. In the Ni family, she could do whatever she wanted and sleep until she wanted, unlike in the Jing family where she had to go downstairs with Jing Shaozi every morning. Otherwise, Jing Shaozi's mother would have something to say. Her husband had already woken up, so how could she still be in bed as a daughter-in-law? Moreover, she could eat whatever she wanted. It was really like opening her mouth and stretching out her hand. The Ni couple was very good to her, afraid that she would be sad because of the divorce. Ning Shu saw the Ni couple's love for her and felt that the original owner should come back. After all, there was a family who loved her so much, so it was good to come back and accompany the Ni couple. She didn't need to give up her beautiful life for Jing Shaozi and irrelevant people. The date of the court hearing was set. It was half a month later. Before the court hearing, Jing Shaozi came to the Ni family every day to find Ning Shu and express his attitude, saying that he would never divorce. Jing Shaozi tried his best to save this marriage. Ning Shu didn't even let Jing Shaozi in the door. He could shout at the door if he wanted. Ning Shu closed the window and the sound was much lower. It was summer and it was very hot outside. Ning Shu was very comfortable in the house with the air conditioner. Jing Shaozi shouted outside until his mouth was dry and he almost stuck his tongue out under the sun. Jing Shaozi still came to the Ni family every day and wanted to use his sincerity to touch Ning Shu. However, Ning Shu, who was in the house with the air conditioner and practicing martial arts, didn't know anything and didn't know what sincerity was. After running for a few days, Jing Shaozi finally collapsed to the ground with a thump. He had a heat stroke. Father Ni called Jing Shaozi's father and said, "Your son has fainted. If you don't come and take him away, you can just leave him in the middle of the road and let him be crushed by a car." How could his father not know about Jing Shaozi's behavior? Of course he knew, but he still allowed Jing Shaozi to make such a scene. Father Ni was determined to draw a clear line with the Jing family. It was too disgusting. Jing Shaozi was brought back to the Ni family and was placed on an 4-drip. Once again, Jing Shaozi witnessed Ning Shu's ruthlessness. She didn't show her face from beginning to end. Even when he fainted from heat stroke, she didn't say a word. How could a person change so quickly? Don't you feel bad for her? Ni Yin asked Ning Shu. She comes here every day. Are you touched? Ning Shu sneered. Men like to use such tricks to make women feel sorry for them and make them compromise. Ni Yin raised his eyebrows. It said that a man's heart is like iron. When a woman is ruthless, she can be quite ruthless. Ning Shu's mouth twitched. Men could do whatever they wanted, but a woman would be heartless if she persisted a little. On the day of the court hearing, Ning Shu was escorted to the court by the Ni family. They met the Jing family at the entrance of the court. Ning Shu looked at Jing Shaozi. Jing Shaozi had lost a lot of weight and had become much darker. Previously, in order to show his sincerity, he had tanned under the sun during the dog days of summer. When a person was tanned, they looked rustic. Now, Jing Shaozi didn't look good at all. When Jing Shaozi saw Ning Shu, he opened his mouth but closed it in the end. He looked at Ning Shu with resentment. "Ni Jing, why are you like this?" Jing Shaozi's mother looked at Ning Shu. "If you want a divorce, just divorce. Why do you have to make such a big scene?" Jing Shaozi's mother saw a lot of reporters around and glared at Ning Shu. Ning Shu smiled. "I didn't call these reporters. These reporters were like cats that smelled blood. They flocked over. This kind of rich family feud was the favorite of the reporters. Back then, Jing Shaozi and Ni Jing's wedding attracted a lot of reporters. Their wedding was even called the wedding of the century. Now things had changed. Jing Shaozi and Ni Jing's marriage only lasted for 5 years. It didn't even reach the 7-year itch before it broke up. "It's good enough that someone wants a woman like you," Jing Shaozi's mother said disdainfully. Ni Jing's mother was unhappy. "What are you talking about? Someone like your son wants a woman like him? He's infertile and only does things that animals do. I was blind to think that you were a good mother-in-law." "What animal? How dare you say that my son is an animal?" Jing Shaozi's mother widened her eyes and glared at Ni Jing's mother. "Say that again." The quarrel attracted the attention of the reporters and they kept taking pictures. "That's enough. Stop it." Jing Shaozi's father pulled his wife and growled. Jing Shaozi's father looked at Ni Jing's father. "Old Ni, you have to be rational to solve this problem. If this continues, it won't end well. Do you really want to be enemies?" Ni Jing's father said indifferently, then be enemies. Jing Shao's father's eyes narrowed and he frowned. He was very worried. The door of the court opened and Ning Shu and the lawyer went in first. Then, the two of them went in one after another. The judge and the jury entered the courtroom and after some preamble, the case officially began. Ning Shu sat in the plaintiff's seat, facing Jing Shaoze who was sitting in the defendant's seat. Jing Shaoze and Ni Jing's family sat in the gallery and there were many reporters in the gallery. Ning Shu's lawyer directly asked for a divorce between Ni Jing and Jing Shaoze and a compensation of 200 million yuan for Ni Jing's emotional distress. As soon as the lawyer said this, the whole courtroom was quiet and only the sound of the reporters clicking the shutter quickly could be heard. Jing Shaoze looked at Ning Shu in a daze and asked, "Do you know what you're talking about? 200 million yuan?" Ning Shu smiled gently. "Of course, this request is not excessive at all because you're the one at fault. At the same time, I also want to sue you for prostitution." Ning Shu took out the USB flash drive. "This is all evidence. Your prostitution records are all in here. At home, I recorded every single one of them. There are also words about your mother forcing Yi Shi to prostitute herself. She used surrogacy as a means of prostitution," Ning Shu said with a smile. Yi Shi accepted money from Jing Shao's mother. If there was money involved, it was prostitution. No matter how nicely it sounded, it was still prostitution. The boundaries were blurred and it could be counted as prostitution. Ning Shu just had to accuse her of such a crime. What was the big deal about marital infidelity? He directly classified it as a public security case and the impact would be expanded. The more fun they had at that time, the greater the price they had to pay now. 200 million yuan was enough to make the Jing family feel the pinch. They didn't feel the pinch when they gave Yi Shi tens of millions of yuan as a sugar baby. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.